From temples of noise to silent stones, clues are scattered like a broken puzzle. The Nazca lines stretch across the Peruvian desert, gigantic shapes that are best seen from the sky. Who carved them? Who carved them? No one knows. In Turkey stands Göbekli Tepe, a temple older than history itself that mocks everything we thought we knew. There's also the Antikythera mechanism, an ancient machine so advanced that it seems like time travel. These 65 mysteries are not just cracks in the past, they're huge holes. Science stares at them and blinks. Each discovery raises more questions, as if history is laughing at our confidence. Throughout history, archaeologists have unearthed numerous fascinating lost cities, each offering a unique glimpse into ancient civilizations. One of the most captivating is Petra, the pink-red city carved into sandstone cliffs in present-day Jordan. Hidden for centuries, this city, which was a thriving commercial center of the Nabatean Empire, features intricate facades and a complex water channeling system that allowed its inhabitants to thrive in the harsh desert environment. Equally mysterious is Machu Picchu, the Inca citadel high in the Peruvian Andes. Abandoned and forgotten for hundreds of years, this architectural marvel was rediscovered in 1911. Its precise stone construction and strategic location have led to numerous speculations about its purpose, from royal residence to sacred religious site. In the jungles of Cambodia lies Angkor, the sprawling capital of the Khmer Empire. This vast complex of temples and cities, including the famous Angkor Wat, was lost to the world for centuries before being rediscovered in the 17th century. The sheer size of Angkor and its sophisticated water management system continue to amaze researchers and visitors alike. Another intriguing lost city is Mohenjo-daro, located in present-day Pakistan. This ancient urban center of the Indus Valley civilization boasted advanced urban planning with a grid-like street layout and an elaborate drainage system, displaying a level of urban sophistication unmatched for its time more than 4,000 years ago. These lost cities, each with their own unique stories and mysteries, continue to captivate our imagination and drive archaeological research. The discovery of Göbekli Tepe in southeastern Turkey has revolutionized our understanding of early human civilization. This ancient site, dating back some 10,000 years, predates the invention of pottery, metallurgy, writing, and even agriculture. Its existence calls into question the belief that complex societies only emerged after humans turned to agriculture. Göbekli Tepe consists of huge stone pillars arranged in circular patterns, many of them adorned with intricate carvings of animals and abstract symbols. The sophistication of these structures suggests a level of organization and craftsmanship previously thought impossible for hunter-gatherer societies. This revelation forces us to reconsider the capabilities of our ancestors and the factors that drove the development of complex social structures. Perhaps most intriguing is that Göbekli Tepe appears to have been deliberately buried around 8,000 years ago for reasons we do not yet fully understand. This intentional preservation has left archaeologists with an extraordinarily well-preserved glimpse into a crucial period of human development. The existence of the site implies that the impulse to create monumental architecture and intricate art may have been spiritual or cultural rather than purely practical. The implications of Göbekli Tepe go beyond archaeology and influence our understanding of human cognitive development and social evolution. It suggests that complex religious or ideological systems may have played a more important role in the emergence of civilization than previously thought, possibly preceding and even driving the agricultural revolution. This discovery continues to reshape our narrative of human history, reminding us that our journey from hunter-gatherers to complex societies was much more nuanced and multifaceted than we believed. Mohenjo-daro, one of the largest and best-preserved urban settlements of the ancient Indus Valley civilization, continues to captivate archaeologists and historians with its enigmatic past. Located in present-day Pakistan, This 4,000-year-old city has given rise to numerous puzzles that researchers are still trying to solve. One of the most intriguing mysteries is the indecipherable writing found on seals and pottery throughout the site. Despite decades of effort, linguists have been unable to crack the code of these ancient writings, leaving us in the dark about the city's administrative systems, religious beliefs, and daily life. This linguistic puzzle has prevented us from fully understanding the culture and society of the inhabitants of Mohenjo-daro. The city's advanced urban planning and sophisticated water management system raise questions about the level of technological knowledge possessed by its builders. The presence of a large water reservoir, often referred to as the Great Bath, has led to speculation about its function. It was used for religious purification rituals, as a public bath, or for some other unknown purpose. Perhaps the most puzzling mystery is the sudden decline and abandonment of Mohenjo-daro around 1800 BC. Theories range from climate change and shifting river courses to invasions and economic collapse, but the exact cause remains elusive. As archaeologists continue to unearth new evidence, the secrets of this ancient city are slowly coming to light, offering tantalizing glimpses of a sophisticated urban civilization that flourished long before the dawn of classical antiquity. The lost city of Heraklion is of immense importance to archaeologists, as it offers a rare glimpse into the ancient world. Discovered in 2001 off the coast of Egypt, this submerged metropolis had remained hidden beneath the Mediterranean Sea for over 1,000 years. Its rediscovery has provided an unprecedented opportunity to study an intact ancient Egyptian port city, frozen in time by the waters that engulfed it. Heraclea, also known as Tonis by the Egyptians, was a vital center for trade and religion in the ancient world. The city's vast collection of artifacts, including colossal statues, intricate jewelry, and ritual objects, has shed new light on economic and cultural exchanges between ancient Egypt and the Mediterranean world. These findings have allowed archaeologists to better understand life in this bustling port during the late period of ancient Egypt. One of the most remarkable aspects of Heraklion is the preservation of its infrastructure. The city's network of canals, ports, and religious complexes remains largely intact, providing valuable information about urban planning and engineering in ancient times. This level of preservation is exceptionally rare in terrestrial sites, making Heraklion a treasure trove of information for researchers studying ancient civilizations. Furthermore, the discovery of Heraklion has led archaeologists to reevaluate the historical accounts and myths surrounding the region. The existence of the city and its subsequent submersion have helped to corroborate ancient texts and legends, bridging the gap between mythology and historical fact. This convergence of archaeological evidence and historical accounts makes Heraklion a crucial site for understanding the complex relationship between the ancient Egyptian and Greek cultures in the Mediterranean world. Machu Picchu, the ancient city carved into the Peruvian Andes, has long fascinated archaeologists and historians. A widely held theory suggests that Machu Picchu served as a royal residence for Inca emperors and nobles. This idea is supported by the site's elaborate architecture and its relatively small size, which could not have accommodated a large permanent population. Another theory proposes that Machu Picchu was a sacred religious site. The presence of numerous temples, stones, rituals, and astronomically aligned structures lends credence to this idea. Some researchers believe that it may have been used as a pilgrimage destination or a place for religious ceremonies and astronomical observations. As for its construction, experts agree that the Incas built Machu Picchu using an impressive technique called sileria. This method involved cutting large stones to fit together perfectly without mortar. The Incas demonstrated remarkable engineering skills, creating structures that have withstood centuries of earthquakes and erosion. The purpose of Machu Picchu remains a subject of debate and research. Some scholars suggest that it may have had multiple functions, combining elements of a royal retreat, religious center, and administrative center. As new archaeological evidence emerges, our understanding of this enigmatic place continues to evolve, adding to its charm and mystery. The discovery of Caroll soup in Peru has revolutionized our understanding of early South American civilizations. This ancient city, located in the Soup Valley, dates back to approximately 2600 BC, making it one of the oldest urban centers in the Americas. Its existence calls into question long-held beliefs about the development of complex societies in the region. Before Caroll soup was discovered, archaeologists believe that the first complex civilizations in South America emerged around 15 years before Christ. However, this discovery pushes that timeline back more than a millennium. The city's sophisticated architecture, which includes large pyramids, circular plazas, and intricate irrigation systems, demonstrates a level of social organization and engineering skill previously unknown for this early period. Caroll soup has also altered our perception of how early civilizations developed. Unlike many other ancient societies, there are no signs of warfare or defensive structures in the city. This suggests that the culture prospered through trade and cooperation rather than conflict. The discovery of musical instruments and evidence of complex rituals indicate a rich cultural life, further expanding our view of early South American societies. In addition, the influence of Caroll soup appears to have been widespread, as similar architectural styles have been found at other sites along the Peruvian coast. This implies a sphere of influence, broader cultural sphere than previously imagined, pointing to the existence of extensive trade networks and shared cultural practices across a wide region. The discovery of Caroll has opened up new avenues of research and continues to redefine our understanding of the origins and development of civilization in South America. The underground city of Derinkuy in Turkey captivates our imagination with its intricate network of underground chambers and passageways. This ancient wonder, carved into the depths of the soft volcanic rock of Cappadocia, is a testament to human ingenuity and the lengths people will go to in order to survive and protect themselves. Derinkuy is not just any underground structure, but a vast multi-level city that can house up to 20,000 people. This underground metropolis extends to a depth of approximately 60 m and features dwellings, storage rooms, common areas, and even pens for livestock. The city's sophisticated ventilation system, which reaches all levels, demonstrates the advanced engineering skills of its ancient builders. One of the most intriguing aspects of Derinkuy is its elaborate security system. Huge stone doors weighing up to 1,000 pounds each could be put in place to seal off sections of the city. These doors were designed to be operated only from the inside, protecting them from invaders. The narrow, winding passageways between levels were also part of this defensive strategy, making it difficult for enemies to navigate the underground labyrinth. The purpose and exact age of Derinkuy remain a subject of debate among historians and archaeologists. Some theories suggest that it was built in the 7th century BC, possibly by the Phrygians. Others propose that it was expanded during the Byzantine era as a refuge for Christians fleeing persecution. Whatever its origin, Derinkuy is a remarkable example of ancient underground architecture and a fascinating glimpse into the lives and challenges of our ancestors. The ancient city of Petra, nestled in the rugged desert canyons of southern Jordan, is a testament to human ingenuity and architectural brilliance. Carved directly into the red, white, and vibrant sandstone cliffs, this ancient and prosperous capital of the Nabatean Empire has captivated explorers and historians for centuries. The most iconic feature of Petra is its elaborate architecture of tombs and temples, with the famous treasury building as an example of the Nabateans' exceptional stone carving skills. These structures were not built, but rather chiseled out of the living rock, creating a perfect blend of natural landscape and human craftsmanship. The city's advanced water channeling system is another marvel that contributes to its archaeological significance. In a harsh desert environment, the Nabateans designed an intricate network of channels, dams, and cisterns to collect rainwater and manage flash floods, allowing the city to thrive and support a population of up to 100,000 people. Petra's strategic location along vital trade routes further enhanced its importance, serving as a crucial hub for caravans transporting spices, silk, and other valuable goods between Arabia, Egypt, and the Mediterranean world. This confluence of cultures is reflected in the city's diverse architectural styles, which incorporate elements from Hellenistic, Roman, and indigenous traditions, making Petra a unique crossroads of ancient civilizations and a true archaeological wonder. The ancient Mayan city of Tikal continues to intrigue archaeologists and historians with its unsolved mysteries. One of the most perplexing mysteries is the sudden collapse of this once flourishing metropolis. Despite extensive research, experts continue to debate the exact reasons for Tikal's downfall, with theories ranging from environmental degradation to political instability. Another enigma is Tikal's sophisticated water management system. The city's intricate network of reservoirs and canals allowed it to sustain a large population in a difficult tropical environment. However, the full extent and engineering principles of this system are still unknown, leading researchers to wonder about the advanced knowledge possessed by the Maya. The hieroglyphic texts found at Tikal also pose ongoing challenges. Although many inscriptions have been deciphered, others remain untranslated and could contain crucial information about the city's history, rituals, and social structure. These untranslated texts could hold keys to understanding the complex Mayan calendar system and its astronomical significance. Archaeologists are also intrigued by the possible existence of structures yet to be discovered in Tikal and its surroundings. Advanced technologies such as LiDAR have revealed previously unknown buildings and complexes hidden beneath the jungle canopy, pointing to the possibility of other significant discoveries. These unexplored areas could reshape our understanding of Tikal's urban planning and its relationship with neighboring cities. Modern technology has revolutionized the field of archaeology, particularly in the discovery and exploration of lost cities such as Angkor. Satellite imagery has been a game-changer, allowing researchers to explore vast areas from the air and identify potential sites of interest. This technology has revealed intricate canal systems and hidden structures in Angkor that were previously unknown. LIR, which stand for light detection and ranging, has been especially crucial in uncovering the true extent of Angkor. This advanced laser scanning technique can penetrate dense tree canopies and create detailed three-dimensional maps of the ground. Leading studies have brought to light an entire urban landscape around Angkor, proving that the city was much larger and more complex than previously thought. Ground-penetrating radar has also played an important role in the exploration of Angkor. This non-invasive method allows archaeologists to detect buried structures and artifacts without disturbing the ground. At Angkor, it has helped locate hidden temples, roads, and water management systems, providing a more complete understanding of the city's layout. And infrastructure. Digital reconstruction techniques have brought Angkor back to life in the virtual realm. By combining archaeological data with historical records and architectural knowledge, experts can create detailed computer models of what the city might have looked like in its heyday. These reconstructions not only contribute to research, but also help the public visualize and appreciate the grandeur of this ancient metropolis. The construction of the Great Pyramid of Giza has fascinated scholars and the public for millennia, giving rise to numerous theories about the techniques used by the ancient Egyptians. One prominent theory suggests that the large limestone blocks were transported from the quarries using wooden rollers or sledges. These blocks were then carefully stacked and fitted together, with smaller stones used to fill in the gaps. Another theory proposes the use of a system of external ramps. This method involves constructing long, straight ramps that allowed workers to drag stone blocks up the sides of the pyramid as it grew in height. Some researchers advocate a spiral ramp that wound around the pyramid, providing a continuous path to the top. Theories of an internal ramp have also gained support. These suggest that the ancient builders constructed the pyramid from the inside out, using a spiral internal corridor to move the stone blocks upward. This method could explain how the Egyptians achieved such precision at great heights. The most controversial theories include the use of advanced ancient technology, such as levitation or anti-gravity devices. However, most archaeologists and historians dismiss these ideas and favor explanations based on the known engineering capabilities of ancient Egypt and the tools available at the time. Archaeologists have long been intrigued by the remarkable precision of the stone joints at Pumapunku, an ancient site in Bolivia. The incredible precision with which the huge stone blocks were cut and fitted together has sparked numerous debates and investigations within the archaeological community. One explanation for this precision lies in the advanced stone-cutting techniques employed by the Tiwanaku civilization, which flourished in the region between 500 and 1000 CE. These ancient builders likely used a combination of copper chisels, bronze tools, and abrasive sand to shape the hard andesite and sandstone blocks. The level of skill and craftsmanship on display suggests a highly organized society. Bronze tools and abrasive sand to shape the hard blocks of andesite and sandstone. The level of skill and craftsmanship displayed suggests a highly organized and technologically sophisticated society. Some archaeologists propose that the Tiwanaku people may have used a system of standardized measurements and templates to ensure consistency in their stonework. This would explain the repetitive patterns and interlocking shapes found throughout the site. In addition, the use of specialized tools such as straight edges and plumb lines may have contributed to the precise angles and smooth surfaces observed in the stone blocks. The exceptional fit between the stones at Pomo is also attributed to the meticulous planning and engineering skills of the ancient builders. They probably employed a technique known as ashlar masonry, in which stones are cut to fit together without the need for mortar. This method, combined with their advanced understanding of geometry and structural principles, allowed them to create buildings that have withstood the test of time, despite earthquakes and other natural forces. The Nazca lines, etched into the desert floor of southern Peru, have puzzled researchers for decades. These enormous geoglyphs, some of which stretch for several kilometers, depict various animals, plants, and geometric shapes. Although their exact purpose remains a mystery, several intriguing theories have been proposed. One popular hypothesis suggests that the Nazca lines served as an astronomical calendar. Proponents of this theory argue that the lines align with celestial bodies and may have been used to track the seasons, helping the ancient Nazca people determine the optimal times for planting and harvesting crops. This idea links the enormous ground drawings to the practical needs of an agricultural society. Another theory proposes that the lines were created for religious or ceremonial purposes. Some researchers believe that the geoglyphs were intended to be seen by the gods from above, serving as offerings or attempts to communicate with divine beings. This explanation is consistent with the spiritual beliefs of many ancient cultures that sought to connect with the heavens. A more recent theory suggests that the Nazca lines were related to water sources. According to this view, the lines and figures may have been used in rituals to pray for water in the arid region or to mark the location of underground water sources. This interpretation links the mysterious designs to the fundamental need for water in a desert environment, highlighting the Nazca people's ingenuity in adapting to their difficult surroundings. Stonehenge is a testament to human ingenuity and ancient engineering that has captivated archaeologists and the public for centuries. This prehistoric monument, located on the Salisbury Plain in England, continues to baffle experts with its precise construction and enigmatic purpose. The scale of Stonehenge is astonishing. Massive stones, some weighing up to 40 tons, were transported over considerable distances and erected with remarkable precision. This feat is even more impressive when you consider that it was accomplished over 4,000 years ago, long before the advent of modern technology or even simple machines such as the wheel. The purpose of Stonehenge remains the subject of heated debate. Theories range from an ancient observatory for tracking celestial movements to a sacred place of healing or ritual sacrifice. Its alignment with the summer solstice suggests a deep connection to astronomical events, pointing to the sophisticated knowledge of its builders. Perhaps most intriguing is the question of how such a monumental structure was built with primitive tools. The transportation and precise placement of the enormous stones continue to challenge our understanding of prehistoric capabilities. This enduring mystery fuels research and speculation, making Stonehenge a focus of archaeological investigation and a source of wonder for millions of visitors each year. The statues on Easter Island, known as moai, have captivated the world's imagination for centuries. These enormous stone figures carved by the Rapanui people stand as silent sentinels on a remote island in the southeastern Pacific Ocean. Their size and number are astonishing. Some are over 9 m tall and weigh up to 80 tons. The enigma of the moai lies in the questions they raise about the history of the island and the society that created them. How did a small population on an isolated island manage to carve, transport, and erect these colossal statues? The logistics of this feat seem almost impossible given the limited resources available on Easter Island. Adding to the mystery is the island's ecological history. When European explorers first arrived in the 17th century, they found a barren landscape with no trees tall enough to make the rollers and sledges traditionally thought to be necessary for moving the statues. This has led to theories about environmental collapse and its possible link to the statue-building culture. The purpose of the moai remains a subject of debate. Some researchers believe they represented ancestral figures or served as guardians watching over the island. Others suggest they were symbols of power and status for the island's clans. The enigmatic expressions of the statues and the fact that many were deliberately toppled during clan conflicts add layers of intrigue to their history, making the moai enduring symbols of a lost civilization and its mysteries. The enormous stone blocks of Baalbek, Lebanon, have long puzzled researchers and archaeologists. These colossal stones, some weighing up to 1,000 tons, are part of an ancient Roman temple complex. Experts have proposed several theories to explain their construction and placement. A prevailing explanation suggests that Roman engineers employed advanced lifting and transportation techniques. They likely used a combination of levers, pulleys, and ramps to move these enormous stones. Some researchers believe that the Romans may have used large rollers and wooden sledges together with oxen or human workers to transport the stones from nearby quarries. Another theory proposes that the stones were not moved as individual pieces, but were built in place using smaller blocks. This method would have involved stacking and fitting the smaller stones together, and then smoothing the exterior to give the appearance of a single solid block. However, close examination of the stones has revealed little evidence to support this idea. Recent studies have also explored the possibility that the largest stones at Baalbek predate the Roman era. Some researchers suggest that these megalithic blocks may have been part of an earlier structure, possibly from the Phoenician period. The Romans may have incorporated these pre-existing stones into their own construction, adding to the mystery surrounding the site's origins and construction methods. The Antikythera mechanism, an ancient Greek device discovered in a shipwreck off the coast of the island of Antikythera, has captivated researchers and historians for decades. This complex mechanical calculator, dating from between 100 to 200 BC, is often considered the world's first analog computer. Several theories have emerged about the purpose of this intricate device. The most widely accepted theory suggests that the Antikythera mechanism was used as an astronomical calculator capable of predicting the positions of celestial bodies and tracking the complex cycles of the ancient Greek calendar. It could calculate the phases of the moon, predict solar and lunar eclipses, and even forecast the schedule of important Greek athletic events such as the Olympic Games. Another theory proposes that the mechanism served as a teaching tool in ancient academies, helping students understand the movements of celestial bodies and the complexities of timekeeping. Some researchers have suggested that it may have been used for astrological purposes, calculating horoscopes for wealthy clients or predicting auspicious dates for important events. A more recent theory posits that the Antikythera mechanism may have been a navigational aid for sailors, helping them determine their position at sea by making celestial observations. Although its exact purpose remains the subject of research and debate, the sophistication of the Antikythera mechanism continues to amaze modern scientists, challenging our perception of ancient technological capabilities. The Great Sphinx of Giza has been the source of heated debate among archaeologists for decades. This colossal limestone statue with a human head and lion's body has puzzled experts due to its uncertain origin and age. Traditional Egyptology dates the Sphinx to around 2500 BC, attributing its construction to Pharaoh Khafre. However, some researchers argue that the monument could be much older, possibly predating Egyptian civilization itself. One of the main points of controversy is the erosion patterns observed on the Sphinx. Some geologists claim that the erosion of its body is due to prolonged exposure to heavy rainfall rather than wind and sand. This type of weather would have occurred in the region thousands of years before the commonly accepted date of construction, which could delay the age of the Sphinx by several millennia. Another controversial aspect is the disproportionate size of the Sphinx's head compared to its body. Some archaeologists suggest that the head may have been cut off later, possibly to represent a specific pharaoh. This theory could explain the inconsistency in erosion between the head and the body, as well as the unusual proportions of the statue. The lack of definitive historical data on the construction of the Sphinx fuels the debate. Although ancient Egyptian texts mention the monument, they provide little information about its origins or purpose. This lack of clear evidence has allowed various interpretations and theories to emerge, ranging from conventional explanations to more speculative ideas involving lost civilizations or extraterrestrial influence. Sixayan, the ancient Inca fortress in Peru, continues to baffle archaeologists and historians with its extraordinary construction. The most striking feature of the site are its enormous stone walls built from blocks weighing up to 360 tons, fitted together with precision without mortar. This level of engineering precision has raised numerous questions about how the Incas achieved such a feat with the tools available to them at the time. One of the main mysteries is the method used to transport these colossal stones from quarries several kilometers away. Some theories suggest the use of ramps and rollers, while others propose more speculative ideas involving lost technologies or even extraterrestrial help. The truth probably lies in the ingenuity and advanced knowledge of physics and engineering possessed by the Inca civilization. Another enigma is the incredible precision with which the stones fit together. The blocks are fitted together, similar to a jigsaw puzzle, so tightly that not even a thin blade can be inserted between them. This level of precision, achieved without modern surveying equipment or cutting tools, has sparked intense debate about the techniques and tools used by the Inca stonemasons. The purpose of Sacsayhuaman also remains a subject of debate. Although it has traditionally been considered a fortress due to its strategic location and imposing walls, some researchers argue that it may have had ceremonial or astronomical functions. The true scope of its use and significance in Inca culture remains a subject of research and speculation, contributing to the enduring mystique of this ancient wonder. Archaeologists have long been fascinated by the enigmatic Karnak stones in Brittany, France. These ancient megaliths, consisting of thousands of standing stones arranged in precise alignments, have puzzled researchers for centuries. Although their exact purpose remains a matter of debate, archaeologists have developed several compelling theories based on careful study and analysis. One of the leading interpretations suggests that the Karnak stones served as an elaborate astronomical calendar. By observing the alignment of the stones with celestial bodies, Neolithic people may have been able to track the changing seasons, solstices, and equinoxes. This knowledge would have been crucial for agricultural planning and religious ceremonies linked to the cycles of nature. Another theory proposes that the stones were part of a large necropolis or cemetery. Excavations carried out near the site have uncovered human remains and funerary artifacts that support this idea. The huge rows of stones may have served as a path for funeral processions or to commemorate the dead. Some archaeologists believe that the Karnak stones had a more symbolic or spiritual meaning. They may have been used in rituals or to mark important territorial boundaries between different Neolithic communities. The magnitude of the monument suggests that it was of great importance to the people who invested enormous effort in its construction over many generations. Intriguing archaeological discoveries have sparked debate about the extent of ancient civilizations' knowledge of electricity. One of the most compelling pieces of evidence is the Baghdad battery, discovered in Iraq and dated to the Parthian period around 2,000 years ago. This artifact consists of a clay jar containing a copper cylinder and an iron rod, which some researchers believe may have produced an electric current when filled with an acidic liquid. In ancient Egypt, elaborate and detailed engravings in the Temple of Dendera have been interpreted by some as representations of early forms of electric lighting. These engravings show what appear to be large bulb-shaped objects with winding filaments inside, reminiscent of modern light bulbs. However, most archaeologists disagree with this interpretation and suggest alternative explanations for these images. Ancient Indian texts, particularly the Agastya Samhita, contain descriptions of what some interpret as batteries and primitive electrical devices. These texts mention the use of copper, zinc, and other materials in configurations that resemble basic electrical components. Similarly, some researchers argue that certain ancient Greek and Roman texts contain references to electrical phenomena, although these interpretations remain controversial. While these findings are fascinating, it is important to note that the majority of the scientific community remains skeptical of claims that ancient electrical knowledge was widespread. Many argue that there are alternative explanations for these artifacts and texts, and that the evidence does not conclusively prove that advanced knowledge of electricity existed in ancient times. Nevertheless, these discoveries continue to fuel curiosity and research into the technological capabilities of our ancestors. Archaeologists approach so-called out-of-place artifacts with careful analysis and scientific rigor. These objects, which seem to defy conventional understandings of historical chronologies or technological capabilities, often have more mundane explanations than their sensationalist representations might suggest. In many cases, what appears to be an anachronistic artifact is the result of misinterpretation or lack of context. Objects can be displaced by natural processes, such as erosion, or by human activities, such as construction, leading to their discovery in unexpected places. Sometimes our understanding of ancient technological capabilities is simply incomplete, and these artifacts reveal previously unknown levels of sophistication. Contamination of archaeological sites is another common explanation. Modern objects can be introduced into older layers. Older layers by various means, such as animal burrows, root growth, or even deliberate hoaxes. Archaeologists use advanced dating techniques and stratigraphic analysis to determine whether an object truly belongs to the layer in which it was found. Ultimately, most out-of-place artifacts have logical explanations that fit our current understanding of history and technology. When genuine anomalies are discovered, they encourage further investigation and can lead to exciting new discoveries about past civilizations, rather than overturning established historical accounts. The Baghdad battery, discovered in Iraq in 1938, has sparked numerous theories about its possible purpose. This ancient artifact, dating back to the Parthian period some 2,000 years ago, consists of a clay pot containing an iron rod surrounded by a copper cylinder. A widely held theory suggests that the device may have been used for electroplating, a process of coating objects with a thin layer of metal using an electric current. Proponents of this idea argue that the battery could have generated a weak electrical charge when filled with an acidic liquid potentially used to gild silver objects with gold. Another intriguing hypothesis proposes that the Baghdad battery may have had medicinal purposes. Some researchers speculate that it could have been used to administer electrical shocks as a form of pain relief or for other therapeutic applications, similar to the functioning of modern transcutaneous electrical nerve stimulation devices. However, skeptics argue that the device may not have been a battery at all. Some suggest that it could have been a simple container for storing sacred scrolls or valuable documents. Others propose that it could have been used for religious or magical rituals, possibly as a container for special oils or other substances. The true purpose of the Baghdad battery remains a subject of debate and fascination among historians and scientists. The Dropa stones have been the subject of intrigue and speculation among some researchers and enthusiasts of ancient mysteries. Some have interpreted these supposed artifacts, allegedly discovered in 1938 in the Bayan Kerala Mountains of China, as evidence of extraterrestrial contact in ancient times. However, it is crucial to note that conventional archaeologists and scientists do not consider the Dropa stones to be authentic archaeological artifacts. Those who believe in the significance of the Dropa stones claim that they are flat, circular discs with a hole in the center resembling ancient phonograph records. Their proponents argue that they contain microscopic hieroglyphics that tell the story of a crashed alien spacecraft and its occupants. They suggest that the stones may have served as a form of data storage or communication device for an ancient civilization, possibly extraterrestrial. Despite these claims, there is no credible scientific evidence to support the existence or alleged function of the Dropa stones. Scholars consider the story surrounding these objects to be a hoax or a misinterpretation of unrelated artifacts. No verifiable physical evidence of the stones has been presented, and the original claims about their discovery and nature have been thoroughly debunked by researchers. The interpretation of the Dropa stones as alien artifacts or advanced ancient technology is an example of pseudo-archaeology, in which speculation and imagination often overshadow scientific methodology and evidence-based research. While the idea of ancient alien contact is intriguing, it is important to approach these claims with skepticism and rely on peer-reviewed scientific studies to understand human history and technological development. The Voynich manuscript is one of the most enigmatic documents in history, defying centuries of attempts to decipher it. This mysterious tome, dating from the early 15th century, contains over 200 pages of text written in an unknown alphabet accompanied by strange illustrations of plants, astronomical diagrams, and human figures. What truly sets the Voynich manuscript apart is its seemingly impenetrable code. Despite the efforts of countless linguists, cryptographers, and even computer algorithms, no one has been able to decipher its contents. The text exhibits patterns characteristic of natural language, but it does not correspond to any known writing or encryption system. This has led some experts to speculate that it may be an elaborate hoax, while others maintain that it contains genuine encrypted information. Adding to the intrigue are the unusual illustrations in the manuscript. Many depict plants that do not correspond to any known species, while others show peculiar astronomical charts and what appear to be medicinal recipes. Rather than clarifying the text, these images only deepen the mystery surrounding its purpose and origin. The Voynich manuscript continues to captivate researchers and the public alike, not only because of its resistance to deciphering, but also because of the questions it raises about medieval knowledge, cryptography, and the very nature of language. Its enduring mystery humbly reminds us of the limits of our understanding and the potential for discovery that still exists in the field of historical artifacts. The Kambaya artifacts have sparked intense debate among archaeologists and ancient astronaut theorists. These pre-Columbian gold objects discovered in Colombia include small figurines that some say resemble modern airplanes. Their proponents argue that these artifacts, dating from around 1000 CE, represent flying machines far superior to the technological capabilities of their time. The controversy stems from the aerodynamic features observed in some of these gold objects. They appear to have tail fins, wings, and even what some interpret as a cockpit. This has led to speculation that the ancient Quimbaya people possessed advanced knowledge of aeronautics or had contact with a technologically superior civilization. However, Leading archaeologists offer a different interpretation. They suggest that these artifacts are stylized representations of native animals, such as fish, birds, or insects. The seemingly aerodynamic features, they argue, are simply artistic embellishments or symbolic elements common in Quimbaya art. Despite the ongoing debate, there is no concrete evidence to support the claim of advanced ancient technology. The Quimbaya artifacts remain a fascinating example of pre-Columbian craftsmanship, prompting us to wonder about the true extent of ancient knowledge and the possibilities for misinterpretation in archaeological studies. Archaeologists have uncovered remarkable evidence of advanced metallurgy in ancient civilizations, revealing a level of sophistication that often surprises modern researchers. The development of metallurgical techniques was a gradual process that unfolded over thousands of years with different cultures, making important contributions. A key factor in the advancement of ancient metallurgy was the discovery of copper smelting, which took place around 8,000 years ago. This breakthrough allowed early metallurgists to extract pure copper from ore, which was a major technological leap forward. Over time, ancient civilizations learned to alloy copper with other metals, creating bronze, which is harder and more durable than pure copper. The sophistication of ancient metallurgy is evident in the discovery of complex smelting techniques. For example, the lost wax method used to create intricate metal objects was employed by several ancient cultures around the world. This technique allowed for the production of detailed and ornate metalwork, demonstrating a high level of skill and artistic expression. Archaeologists explained that the development of such advanced metallurgical techniques was probably due to a combination of factors such as trade, cultural exchange, and the pressures of war. The need for better tools and weapons stimulated innovation, while the exchange of ideas between different civilizations accelerated the spread of metallurgical knowledge. This collective accumulation of knowledge over generations gave rise to the impressive metallurgical capabilities we associate with ancient civilizations today. The Phaistos disc remains one of the most puzzling enigmas in archaeology. Discovered in 1908 on the Greek island of Crete, this clay disc dates back to the Middle or Late Minoan Bronze Age, some 3,700 years ago. Its purpose and meaning continue to baffle researchers, giving rise to numerous theories and debates. The disc is unique in several ways. It is imprinted with 241 symbols arranged in a spiral. Unlike any other known writing system, these symbols were made using stamps, making the Phaistos disc the oldest known printed document in the world. The symbols represent a series of objects such as human figures, animals, plants, and tools, but their exact meaning remains unclear. Theories about the purpose of the disc are diverse. Some scholars suggest that it could be a prayer, a magical text, or even an ancient board game. Others propose that it could be a calendar, a musical score, or a coded message. The possibility that it represents an undeciphered writing system has led to numerous attempts at deciphering it, but none have achieved widespread acceptance in the academic community. Adding to the mystery, no other artifacts with the same symbols have ever been found. This isolation makes it extremely difficult to establish any context or comparisons for deciphering it. The uniqueness of the Phaistos disc continues to fuel speculation and research, making it a captivating topic in the field of ancient mysteries. Researchers approach the astronomical knowledge of ancient cultures with a mixture of fascination and scientific rigor. They analyze artifacts, structures, and written records to reconstruct the extent of early knowledge about the observation of the heavens. A key method involves studying ancient monuments and their alignment with celestial events. For example, the precise orientation of Egyptian pyramids and Mayan temples often corresponds to specific star positions or solar events, suggesting a deep knowledge of celestial mechanics. Archaeoastronomers also examine ancient texts and iconography in search of clues about early astronomical observations. Babylonian clay tablets, for example, reveal sophisticated mathematical models for predicting planetary movements. These findings indicate that some ancient societies possessed knowledge that in some ways rivaled modern understanding until the Renaissance. Researchers use modern technology to reconstruct ancient skies, allowing them to verify the accuracy of early observations and calculations. This method has revealed that many ancient cultures were able to predict eclipses, track planetary movements, and create accurate calendars. The level of accuracy of some of these predictions continues to impress modern astronomers. However, interpreting this knowledge requires caution. Researchers must distinguish between actual astronomical knowledge and cultural or religious symbolism that may incorporate celestial elements. They must also consider the possibility of coincidental alignments or erroneous modern interpretations. Despite these difficulties, the evidence consistently points to a rich history of human engagement with the cosmos that spans cultures and continents. Ancient civilizations developed extraordinary navigation techniques that continue to amaze modern researchers. Archaeological discoveries and historical records provide compelling evidence of their advanced skills in traversing great distances, both on land and at sea. One of the most interesting examples comes from the Polynesian cultures of the Pacific. These seafaring peoples navigated thousands of miles of open ocean and colonized remote islands using methods based on careful observation of natural phenomena. They read the stars, the waves, and even the flight of birds to determine their position and direction. The accuracy of their voyages suggests a deep understanding of celestial navigation and ocean currents. In the Mediterranean, ancient Phoenician sailors were renowned for their navigational skills. They used the North Star as a fixed reference point, which allowed them to maintain a steady course during night voyages. This technique, combined with their detailed knowledge of coastal landmarks and prevailing winds, enabled them to establish extensive trade networks throughout the region. The discovery of ancient maps and navigational instruments provides further evidence of sophisticated techniques. The Antikythera mechanism, a complex Greek device dating from the 2nd century BC, was able to track astronomical positions with remarkable accuracy. This level of astronomical knowledge was crucial for accurate navigation, highlighting the advanced knowledge possessed by these early navigators. The Darim mummies have sparked intense archaeological debate due to their unexpected characteristics and the questions they raise about ancient migration patterns. These extraordinarily well-preserved bodies discovered in the harsh desert climate of western China date back more than 4,000 years and display characteristics that challenge our understanding of early human movements across Eurasia. One of the most striking aspects of these mummies is their physical appearance. Many have Caucasian features, such as long noses, deep-set eyes, and light hair ranging in color from blonde to red. This has led to speculation about their origins, with some researchers suggesting that they could be evidence of early European migration to Asia. However, this interpretation remains controversial as it challenges traditional views on the isolation of ancient Chinese civilizations. The cultural artifacts found with the mummies have also fueled the debate. The bodies were buried with intricate textiles, felt hats, and other objects that display a sophisticated level of craftsmanship. Some of these objects bear similarities to those found in distant regions, pointing to possible long-distance trade or cultural exchange. This has led archaeologists to reconsider the degree of interconnectedness between ancient societies across vast geographical areas. Genetic studies of the Darim Basin mummies have added another layer of complexity to the debate. While some DNA evidence supports a Western Eurasian origin, other findings suggest a more complex genetic makeup, with both Eastern and Western influences. This has sparked a debate about the nature of population movements and interactions in Central Asia's prehistory, calling into question simplistic models of human migration and cultural development in the region. Elongated skulls discovered in different regions of the world have been intriguing researchers for decades. These unusual skull shapes found in ancient remains in Peru, Egypt, and parts of Europe have sparked numerous theories and explanations in the scientific community. The most widely accepted explanation for these elongated skulls is the practice of artificial cranial deformation. This intentional modification of the human skull was carried out in various cultures throughout history. The process usually involved binding a baby's head with cloth, wooden boards, or other materials to alter its shape as it grew. In different societies, this practice was often associated with social status, beauty standards, or religious beliefs. Archaeological evidence supports this explanation, as many elongated skulls show signs of deliberate shaping. Researchers have found that the bone structure and volume of these skulls are consistent with normal human anatomy, only with an altered shape. This indicates that the elongation was achieved through external manipulation and not by genetic factors. However, some particularly extreme cases of skull elongation have given rise to alternative theories. Some researchers propose that certain elongated skulls could be evidence of genetic diversity in ancient human populations or even suggest the possibility of non-human origins. These more controversial ideas, while intriguing, lack substantial scientific evidence and do not enjoy widespread acceptance in the academic community. Trepanation, the practice of drilling holes in the human skull, has puzzled researchers for decades. This ancient surgical technique, dating back at least 9,000 years, was practiced in various cultures around the world. Several theories attempt to explain its purpose by shedding light on the medical beliefs and practices of our ancestors. One prominent theory suggests that trepanation was used as a treatment for head injuries. Ancient healers believed that opening a hole in the skull could relieve pressure caused by brain swelling or bleeding. This idea is consistent with modern medical knowledge about the treatment of severe head injuries, although the ancient practice was much more rudimentary and risky. Another hypothesis proposes that trepanation was performed for spiritual or ritual reasons. Some cultures believe that evil spirits or supernatural forces could be released through the hole in the skull, curing illness or altering the person's mental state. This theory is supported by evidence of trepanations performed on apparently healthy individuals, suggesting non-medical motivations. Researchers have also speculated that trepanation may have been used to treat other ailments, such as headaches, epilepsy, or mental disorders. The idea was that creating an opening in the skull could somehow alleviate these ailments, perhaps by allowing the release of substances or pressures perceived as harmful within the head. Although these theories offer intriguing possibilities, the true purpose of trepanation probably varied across different cultures and time periods, reflecting diverse beliefs about health, spirituality, and the human body. The corpses found in the peat bogs of northern Europe have long fascinated archaeologists and the public alike. Due to their remarkable state of preservation and the enigmatic circumstances surrounding their deaths. These ancient human remains, some more than 2,000 years old, have been discovered in peat bogs in countries such as Denmark, Germany, and Ireland. The unique chemical composition of bogs, which are highly acidic and oxygen-depleted, creates an environment that naturally mummifies organic matter. This process has preserved these bodies in extraordinary detail, allowing researchers to study their skin, hair, clothing, and even the contents of their stomachs. However, the often violent manner of their deaths adds an element of mystery to these discoveries. Many of the bog bodies show signs of ritual murder with evidence of strangulation, decapitation, or blunt force trauma. Some appear to have been bound or immobilized in the bogs, suggesting that they were deliberately placed there. This has led to theories about human sacrifice, criminal executions, or ritual offerings to ancient deities. The purpose of these practices remains unclear, so archaeologists have to piece together clues from limited evidence. Adding to the intrigue, some of the bog bodies have been found wearing elaborate jewelry or clothing, suggesting that they were not simply abandoned, but rather carefully prepared for burial. Criminals or ritual offerings to ancient deities. The purpose of these practices remains unclear, leaving archaeologists to piece together clues from limited evidence. Adding to the intrigue, some bog bodies have been found with valuable possessions, while others appear to have been stripped of clothing and belongings. This inconsistency in treatment further complicates our understanding of the social status and cultural significance of these individuals. As scientists continue to study these extraordinarily well-preserved remains, the bog bodies of Northern Europe remain a captivating mystery that offers tantalizing clues about the life and death of our ancient ancestors. The Serapeum of Saqqara is one of Egypt's most enigmatic archaeological sites, challenging our understanding of ancient engineering and purpose. Located in the vast necropolis of Saqqara, this underground complex houses 24 enormous stone boxes, each weighing up to 70 tons and carved with precision from blocks of granite. These colossal sarcophagi, known as bull tombs, were created to house the mummified bodies of pharaohs, each weighing up to 70 tons and precision carved from blocks of granite. These colossal sarcophagi, known as Apis bull tombs, were supposedly created to bury sacred mummified bulls. However, the level of precision in their construction has left experts perplexed. The boxes are cut with such precision that in some cases the lid and base form an airtight seal, a feat that would be challenging even with modern technology. Adding to the mystery, no inscriptions or hieroglyphics have been found inside these enormous stone containers, leaving their true purpose open to speculation. The method used to transport these enormous monoliths through narrow underground tunnels and position them with pinpoint accuracy remains unclear, especially given the limited tools available in ancient times. Furthermore, the age of the Serapeum is controversial, although conventional dating places it around 650 BC. Some researchers argue that certain aspects of the site suggest a much older origin, potentially predating the dynastic period. This uncertainty about its age, coupled with the inexplicable precision of its construction, makes the Serapeum of Saqqara a continuing source of archaeological intrigue and debate. Archaeologists are tackling the sensitive subject of child sacrifice in ancient cultures through careful analysis of physical evidence and cultural context. They examine skeletal remains, burial sites, and associated artifacts to reconstruct the practices and beliefs surrounding these rituals. By studying bone marks, burial positions, and accompanying offerings, researchers can often determine whether the deaths were deliberate and ceremonial. Research on child sacrifice often reveals complex social structures and belief systems. In many cases, these practices were deeply rooted in religious or cosmological worldviews, in which children were seen as pure or powerful intermediaries between the human and divine realms. Archaeologists also consider environmental and social factors, such as periods of extreme hardship or political instability, that may have influenced these practices. Comparative studies between different cultures and time periods help archaeologists identify patterns and variations in child sacrifice rituals. For example, evidence from sites in Peru, Mexico, and the Near East shows both similarities and differences in how these ceremonies were carried out and the purposes attributed to them. This broader perspective allows researchers to better understand the role of child sacrifice in specific cultural contexts. It is essential to note that archaeologists approach this topic with cultural sensitivity and scientific objectivity. Their goal is to understand these practices within their historical and cultural frameworks, rather than imposing modern moral judgments. By carefully interpreting the evidence, archaeologists provide insight into the complex belief systems and social structures of ancient societies, shedding light on practices that may seem incomprehensible to modern observers. The Paracas culture, which flourished on the coast of Peru between the centuries before Christ and the second half of the 2nd century AD, has left archaeologists with numerous mysteries surrounding its funerary practices. One of the most fascinating aspects is the creation of elaborate mummy bundles. These bundles often contained multiple layers of fabric, and some reached enormous sizes and weighed hundreds of kilograms. Archaeologists have discovered that many Paracas mummies were buried with intentionally elongated skulls, a practice that involved binding the heads of infants to alter their shape as they grew. This modification of the skull has sparked debate about its purpose, with theories ranging from aesthetic preferences to indicators of social status, or even attempts to emulate revered ancestors or deities. Another puzzling element of Paracas burials is the presence of trepanation, a surgical procedure involving the removal of part of the skull. Evidence suggests that many individuals survived this procedure, raising questions about its purpose and the advanced medical knowledge of the Paracas. The placement and orientation of the Paracas burials have also puzzled researchers. Some mummies were found sitting in baskets, while others were lying down. Archaeologists and anthropologists continue to study and speculate about the reasons for these different positions and their possible significance in the Paracas beliefs about the afterlife. The presence of mercury in ancient tombs has puzzled researchers for decades. This intriguing discovery has been made at various archaeological sites around the world, from the burial chambers of ancient Chinese emperors to Mesoamerican pyramids. Scientists have proposed several explanations for this phenomenon, each of which sheds light on the beliefs and practices of ancient civilizations. One prominent theory suggests that mercury was used as a preservative. Ancient cultures, particularly in China, believed that mercury had mystical properties that could prevent decay and ensure immortality. They often incorporated large amounts of liquid mercury into royal tombs in the hope of preserving the body and possessions of the deceased for the afterlife. This practice was especially prevalent during the Qin dynasty, where the tomb of Emperor Qin Shi Huang is said to have contained rivers of mercury. Another explanation focuses on the symbolic meaning of mercury. In many ancient cultures, mercury was associated with the gods and the afterlife due to its unique properties as a liquid metal. Its ability to change, shape, and reflect light made it a powerful symbol of transformation and divine essence. Therefore, including mercury in burials could be a way of ensuring the success of the deceased's journey to the afterlife or elevating their status in the spirit world. Researchers have also proposed more practical reasons for the presence of mercury in tombs. Some suggest that it was used as a security measure, as its toxic properties could deter grave robbers. Others speculate that mercury compounds were used in ancient embalming processes or as components of ritual objects buried with the dead. Whatever its purpose, the presence of mercury in ancient tombs continues to fascinate archaeologists and historians, as it offers valuable insights into the beliefs, technologies, and practices of our ancestors. Mummification practices have existed in various cultures throughout history, each with its own beliefs and purposes. In ancient Egypt, mummification was closely linked to religious beliefs about the afterlife. The Egyptians believed that preserving the physical body was crucial for the deceased's journey to the afterlife. They believed that the soul needed a vessel to return to in order to ensure eternal life. The Chinchorro people of South America, who practiced mummification even before the Egyptians, had different motivations. Their mummification techniques were applied to people from all social classes, suggesting a more egalitarian approach. Some researchers propose that the Chinchorro viewed mummification as a way to keep the dead as active members of the community, maintaining a connection between the living and the deceased. In some Inca cultures, mummification was reserved for rulers and members of the social elite. These mummies were often treated as divine beings. They were consulted for advice and participated in important ceremonies. This practice helped maintain the power structure even after death, as mummified rulers continued to play a role in government and religious rituals. Buddhist monks in Japan and China have practiced self-mummification, a process called sokushimbutsu. These monks believe that by preserving their bodies, they could continue to protect and guide their communities, even after death. This extreme form of asceticism was considered a path to enlightenment and a way to become a living Buddha. Mass graves, discovered at ancient sites such as Mohenjo-daro, provide archaeologists with valuable information about past civilizations. These burials offer a wealth of information about population demographics, sanitary conditions, and potentially catastrophic events that affected entire communities. In the case of Mohenjo-daro, an ancient city of the Indus Valley Civilization, the mass grave discovered there has sparked intense debate and research. The remains found in this grave tell the story of a sudden and widespread calamity that befell the city's inhabitants. By examining the bones, archaeologists can determine the age, sex, and health status of individuals, providing a vivid picture of the city's population at a particular time. In addition, the position of the bodies and associated artifacts can reveal cultural practices surrounding death and burial. In some cases, mass graves may indicate hasty burials during times of crisis, such as epidemics or natural disasters. This information helps researchers reconstruct the final days of ancient civilizations and understand the challenges they faced. The importance of these discoveries extends beyond the immediate site. By comparing the findings of mass graves in different places and time periods, archaeologists can trace patterns of disease, violence, or environmental changes that affected multiple ancient societies. This broader perspective contributes to our understanding of human history and the complex factors that determine the rise and fall of early urban centers. Prehistoric cave paintings have long fascinated archaeologists and historians, giving rise to various theories about their purpose. One suggests that these ancient works of art served as a form of communication, allowing early humans to share information about hunting techniques or animal migration patterns. This theory posits that the paintings were essentially a primitive form of record-keeping that was crucial for survival in the harsh prehistoric environments. Another intriguing hypothesis proposes that rock art had spiritual or religious significance. Some researchers believe that these paintings were created as part of shamanic rituals and that caves serve as sacred spaces where humans could connect with the spirit world. The often remote and difficult-to-access location of many cave paintings supports this idea, suggesting that they were not intended to be seen on a daily basis, but rather for special ceremonies. Some scholars argue that cave paintings may have been a way for prehistoric humans to make sense of their world and their place in it by depicting animals and scenes from their lives. Early artists may have been exploring their relationship with nature and attempting to exert some control over their environment through symbolic representation. A more recent theory suggests that cave paintings may have been a form of early education. The detailed depictions of animals and hunting scenes may have served to teach younger generations about wildlife and survival technique. This educational purpose would have been vital for transmitting knowledge in societies without written language. Archaeologists use a variety of techniques to decipher the meaning of ancient rock art, carefully examining the context, patterns, and cultural significance of these enigmatic images. They begin by studying the surrounding environment, taking into account factors such as nearby water sources, hunting grounds, and settlement sites that may provide clues about the artists and their way of life. Comparative analysis plays a crucial role in interpretation. Researchers compare rock art motifs from different regions and time periods, looking for similarities and differences that may reveal shared cultural beliefs or artistic traditions. They also draw on ethnographic studies of contemporary indigenous cultures, whose practices and histories can offer insight into the mindset of ancient artists. The symbolism of rock art is often related to spiritual beliefs, rituals, and important events in the lives of ancient peoples. Archaeologists analyze recurring themes and figures such as animals, human forms, or abstract shapes to uncover their possible meanings. Some symbols may represent deities, ancestors, or natural phenomena, while others may depict hunting scenes, celestial events, or rites of passage. Advanced technologies have revolutionized the interpretation of rock art in recent years. Techniques such as photogrammetry and multispectral imaging allow researchers to detect faint or hidden images, revealing layers of artwork created over centuries. By combining these scientific methods with anthropological knowledge and a deep understanding of the cultural context, archaeologists continue to uncover the secrets of ancient rock art, offering us glimpses into the minds and lives of our distant ancestors. The cave paintings at Lascaux stand out as a remarkable achievement of prehistoric art for several reasons. Discovered in 1940 in southwestern France, these ancient works of art date back approximately 17,000 years. Their exceptional preservation allows us to glimpse with unprecedented clarity the artistic abilities of our earliest ancestors. One of the most striking features of the CO paintings is their enormous scale and complexity. The walls of the cave are adorned with more than 2,000 figures, mainly of large animals known to have lived in the area during the Upper Paleolithic. The level of detail and anatomical accuracy of these animal representations are extraordinary and demonstrate a sophisticated understanding of form and movement. The CO artists employed advanced techniques that were ahead of their time. They used natural pigments to create a rich palette of colors that included various shades of red, yellow, and black. The painters also used the natural contours of the cave walls to add depth and dimension to their works, thus creating some of the earliest known examples of three-dimensional painting. Perhaps most intriguing is that the paintings in the Lascaux cave feature some of the earliest known symbolic and abstract representations in human art. Alongside the animal figures are geometric shapes and motifs whose meaning remains a mystery. This combination of naturalistic and abstract elements sets Alco apart from many other examples of historical art and offers tantalizing clues about the cognitive abilities and cultural practices of our ancient ancestors. The Broad Owl cave paintings in Australia, also known as Wayangaian art, have long puzzled researchers and archaeologists. These ancient works of art found in the Kimberley region of Western Australia depict intricate human figures and have sparked intense debate about their origins and meaning. One of the main mysteries surrounding Bradshaw's paintings is their age. Some experts believe they could be as old as 40,000 years, which would make them some of the oldest cave paintings in the world. However, precise dating has proven difficult due to the lack of organic material in the pigments used. The artistic style of Bradshaw's paintings is also enigmatic. The figures are extraordinarily detailed and sophisticated, featuring elaborate headdresses, ornate clothing, and dynamic poses. This level of complexity is unusual in prehistoric art and has led to speculation about the cultural sophistication of the artists who created them. Adding to the mystery is the fact that the Bradshaw paintings do not appear to have any connection to the artistic traditions of the indigenous Australians who have lived in the area for thousands of years. Some local Aboriginal groups do not claim ownership of the artwork, giving rise to theories about a lost civilization or external cultural influence. These unanswered questions continue to make Bradshaw's rock paintings a subject of fascination and ongoing research. Researchers have made great strides in understanding the sophisticated artistic techniques employed by our prehistoric ancestors. By examining rock paintings, carved figures, and other ancient works of art, scientists have uncovered evidence of extraordinary skill and ingenuity. A key finding is that early humans possessed a deep understanding of perspective and shading. Cave paintings often depict animals with realistic proportions and dynamic poses, suggesting that artists closely observe their subjects in nature. Some cave paintings even incorporate the natural contours of the rock walls to create three-dimensional effects, demonstrating an advanced understanding of spatial relationships. The use of various pigments and binders reveals that prehistoric artists experimented with different materials to achieve the desired colors and textures. Ochre, charcoal, and minerals were ground and mixed with animal fats or vegetable oils to create long-lasting paints. This experimentation indicates a level of planning and foresight in the artistic process. Researchers have also found evidence of specialized tools used in the creation of prehistoric art. Fine-tip tools made from bone or plant fibers were probably used for detailed work, while larger brushes or pads may have been used for broader strokes. These findings suggest that early artists developed and refined their techniques over time, passing their knowledge down from generation to generation. The Nazca lines in Peru have puzzled researchers for decades, giving rise to numerous theories about their purpose. One suggests that these enormous geoglyphs served as astronomical calendars, with different lines and figures corresponding to celestial bodies and seasonal changes. According to this theory, the ancient Nazca people used these enormous drawings to keep track of time and plan their agricultural activities. Another intriguing hypothesis posits that the Nazca lines were created as part of religious rituals. Some researchers believe that the geoglyphs were intended to be seen by the gods from above as offerings or attempts to communicate with divine beings. This idea is consistent with the spiritual practices of many ancient cultures that sought to connect with the heavens. Some scientists have proposed that the lines may have been used for ceremonial processions. The long, straight lines could have served as paths for ritual walks with different figures representing stops or stations along the journey. This theory suggests a more earthly purpose for the geoglyphs, linking them to the cultural and religious practices of the Nazca civilization. A more recent and controversial theory suggests that the lines may be related to water sources. Given the arid environment of the Nazca region, some researchers speculate that the geoglyphs may have marked underground water channels or serve as indicators of valuable water resources. Although this idea remains a subject of debate, it highlights the possible practical purposes that these ancient works may have had beyond their artistic or spiritual significance. Archaeologists use a variety of methods to interpret the symbolism of ancient megalithic structures. They begin by carefully examining the physical characteristics of the monuments, such as their orientation, alignment, and architectural features. These elements often provide crucial clues about the beliefs and intentions of the ancient builders. A key approach is to study the cultural context in which these structures were created. Archaeologists analyze contemporary artifacts, artwork, and written records when available to gain a better understanding of the society that built the megaliths. This broader knowledge helps them decipher the possible meanings of specific symbols or designs found in the structures. Comparative analysis also plays a critical role in interpreting megalithic symbolism. By examining similar structures from different regions or time periods, archaeologists can identify common themes and motifs. This cross-cultural comparison often reveals shared beliefs or practices that influence the creation of these monumental works. Advanced technology has revolutionized the field of megalithic interpretation. Techniques such as laser scanning, ground-penetrating radar, and digital modeling allow archaeologists to uncover hidden details and patterns that were previously invisible to the naked eye. These tools have enabled new discoveries and new interpretations of long-studied sites, shedding light on the complex symbolism encoded in these ancient wonders. Venus figurines, ancient statuettes depicting female forms, continue to baffle archaeologists and historians. These enigmatic artifacts dating back to the Upper Paleolithic have been discovered throughout Europe and parts of Asia. Their creation, spanning thousands of years, suggests a widespread and enduring cultural significance. One of the main mysteries surrounding these figurines is their purpose. Some researchers propose that they were fertility symbols, given their often exaggerated female features. Others argue that they could have been self-portraits of women, primitive representations of goddesses, or even Paleolithic teaching aids for childbirth and anatomy. The true intention behind their creation remains unclear, giving rise to ongoing debate and speculation. The method of creation and distribution of these figurines also raises questions. How did similar artistic styles and themes spread across great distances at a time when human populations were relatively isolated? This suggests possible long-distance cultural exchanges or shared belief systems that are not fully understood. Furthermore, the variety of designs of the figurines poses another puzzle. Although many share common features, such as pronounced breasts and hips, others display more abstract forms, some even incorporating animal characteristics. This diversity suggests multiple purposes or changing symbolic meanings in different regions and time periods, adding complexity to their interpretation. The systematic use of symbols in ancient cultures has long fascinated researchers, leading to various explanations for this intriguing phenomenon. One theory suggests that these common symbols arise from shared human experiences and observations of the natural world. When our ancestors gazed at the night sky, observed animal behavior, or witnessed natural events, they may have independently developed similar symbolic representations. Another explanation points to the possibility of cultural diffusion through trade routes and migratory patterns. As ancient civilizations interacted and exchanged ideas, symbols may have spread and been adopted by different cultures, evolving and adapting along the way. This theory is supported by evidence of extensive trade networks that connected distant regions, facilitating the exchange not only of goods, but also of knowledge and cultural elements. Some researchers propose that certain symbols may be rooted in the structure of the human brain and our cognitive processes. This concept, known as archetypal symbolism, suggests that some symbols have universal meaning because they resonate with fundamental aspects of human psychology and perception. For example, circular shapes may represent wholeness or cycles, while vertical lines may symbolize growth or ascension in various cultures. Advances in cognitive archaeology have also shed light on this phenomenon. By studying how the human mind processes and creates symbols, researchers have identified common patterns in symbol formation across cultures. This approach considers how our shared cognitive abilities combined with similar environmental challenges could lead to the independent development of comparable symbolic systems in different parts of the world. The Rongorongo writing of Easter Island remains one of the world's most enigmatic writing systems. This unique set of glyphs carved on wooden tablets and other artifacts has puzzled researchers since its discovery in the 19th century. Several theories have emerged about its purpose and meaning, each offering intriguing possibilities about the culture and history of the Rapa Nui people. One prominent theory suggests that Rongorongo was a form of proto-writing used to record genealogies, religious chants, or historical events. Proponents of this idea believe that the writing may have served as a memory aid for oral traditions, helping to preserve important cultural knowledge across generations. This theory is consistent with practices observed in other Polynesian cultures, where similar mnemonic devices were used. Another hypothesis proposes that Rongorongo was a fully developed writing system capable of encoding complex linguistic information. Some researchers have attempted to decipher the writing based on this hypothesis, looking for patterns and correlations with the Rapa Nui language. However, the limited number of preserved texts and the lack of a clear translation have made this task extremely difficult. A more recent theory posits that Rongorongo may have been created in response to European contact, particularly after seeing the written documents of Spanish explorers in the 17th century. This idea suggests that the Rapa Nui people developed their own writing to emulate the power they perceived in European writing. Although intriguing, this theory is disputed, as some evidence indicates that the writing may have existed before the arrival of Europeans. The Indus Valley Script, a mysterious writing system used by the ancient Indus Valley Civilization, has puzzled scholars for decades. Despite numerous attempts, this enigmatic script remains undeciphered for several compelling reasons. One of the main problems is the lack of a bilingual text, similar to the Rosetta Stone, which helped decipher Egyptian hieroglyphics. Without such a key, linguists struggle to find a starting point that would allow them to understand the meaning and structure of the script. In addition, the available corpus of Indus Valley texts is relatively small, as most inscriptions are quite short and often contain only 5 or 6 symbols. This limited sample size makes it difficult to identify patterns or recurring elements that could provide clues for deciphering. Another obstacle is the uncertainty surrounding the linguistic family to which the Indus script belongs. Scholars have proposed several possibilities, such as Dravidian, Indo-Aryan, and even an isolated language, but no consensus has been reached. This linguistic ambiguity further complicates attempts to decipher the code, as researchers lack a clear basis For analysis, the brevity of the script and the absence of clear word separators also pose significant challenges. Unlike many other ancient writing systems, the Indo script does not appear to have obvious markers separating words or phrases, making it difficult to identify individual linguistic units. Furthermore, the symbols themselves are highly stylized and abstract, complicating the task of determining whether they represent phonetic sounds, whole words, or more complex concepts. The Phaistos disk is a truly enigmatic artifact in the field of ancient writing systems. Discovered in 1908 on the Greek island of Crete, this clay disk contains a spiral inscription unlike any other known ancient text. What makes it particularly intriguing is its method of creation. Each symbol was individually stamped into the clay, making it the first known example of movable type printing more than 3,000 years before. Gutenberg's invention. The disk contains 241 tokens with 45 unique symbols arranged in a spiral. These pictographic symbols represent a wide variety of objects such as human figures, animals, tools, and plants. However, the meaning of these symbols and the language they represent remain a mystery to this day, as no other artifacts with similar inscriptions have been found. This uniqueness poses significant challenges for its decipherment, with no bilingual texts or related inscriptions to compare it with. Linguists and archaeologists have been unable to establish a definitive translation or even determine the language family to which it belongs. Some scholars have proposed that it could be a primitive form of Greek or a completely unknown language, while others have suggested that it could be a game board or even an elaborate hoax. The uniqueness of the Phaistos disk goes beyond its content and raises questions about its purpose and origin. Its carefully crafted symbols and organized layout suggest that it was an important document, possibly a religious text, a historical record, or an astronomical calendar. However, the absence of similar objects in the region raises questions about its cultural context and the civilization that produced it. This combination of innovative printing technique, indecipherable writing, and isolated existence makes the Phaistos disk a truly unique and puzzling artifact in the study of ancient writing systems, deciphering unknown ancient languages. It is a complex puzzle that researchers tackle with a combination of linguistic expertise, historical knowledge, and detective work. The process usually begins with the collection of all available texts and artifacts featuring the mysterious script. Archaeologists and linguists then meticulously analyze the patterns, frequency, and context of the symbols or characters to identify possible words, phrases, or grammatical structures. A crucial step is finding a bilingual text such as the famous Rosetta Stone, which contains the same message in several languages, including the unknown one. This provides a key to deciphering the meaning of words and phrases. When such texts are not available, researchers look for cognates, words that sound similar and have related meanings in known languages from the same language family or geographical area. Comparative analysis with related languages can provide valuable insights into grammar and vocabulary. Researchers also take into account the historical and cultural context of the civilization that produced the texts, as this can provide clues about the content and structure of the language. They may examine names of rulers, religious concepts, or commercial products that might be recognizable across cultures. Advanced computer techniques now aid in this process, allowing researchers to analyze large amounts of linguistic data and identify patterns that might be overlooked by human observers. However, deciphering an unknown language remains a laborious process that often requires years or even decades of study and collaboration between experts from various fields. Proto-Elamite script remains one of the most enigmatic writing systems in ancient history. Discovered in the early 20th century at sites in present-day Iran, this script dates back to around 3200 BC, making it one of the earliest known forms of writing. Scholars have proposed several theories about its origin. Some suggest that it developed independently of Mesopotamian cuneiform writing, while others argue that it was influenced by early Sumerian writing systems. The script has unique features such as a large number of abstract symbols, which has led some researchers to speculate that it may have evolved from an earlier token-based accounting system. As for its purpose, most experts agree that Proto-Elamite writing was used primarily for administrative and economic records. This theory is supported by the content of the few partially deciphered tablets, which appear to contain lists of goods, quantities, and possibly transactions. However, the full scope of its use remains uncertain due to the limited number of surviving texts in our incomplete understanding of the script. Despite decades of study, Proto-Elamite script has resisted complete decipherment. This has led to ongoing debates about its structure, meaning, and the society that produced it. Some researchers propose that it may represent a language unrelated to later Elamite, adding another layer of complexity to its interpretation and to our understanding of its origin and purpose. Linear remains one of the most enigmatic scripts of antiquity and poses a formidable challenge to both linguists and archaeologists. This writing system, used by the Minoan civilization on the island of Crete between 1900 and 1450 BC, continues to hold its secrets despite decades of intense study. The main obstacle to deciphering linear lies in the absence of a known language with which to compare it. Unlike its successor, Linear B, which was deciphered using ancient Greek, Linear A has no clear linguistic relatives. The lack of a Rosetta Stone equivalent leaves researchers without a crucial starting point for translation. Another factor complicating the situation is the limited corpus of Linear A texts. Most of the surviving examples are brief administrative records or religious inscriptions. That provide little context for understanding the structure or vocabulary of the language. The scarcity of longer texts hinders efforts to identify patterns or recurring elements that might offer clues to their meaning. Furthermore, the Minoan civilization that produced Linear A remains largely a mystery. Our limited knowledge of Minoan culture and society makes it difficult to deduce the content or purpose of many of the inscriptions. This cultural gap, combined with the unique characteristics of the script, has made Linear A one of the most tantalizing unsolved enigmas in the field of ancient linguistics. Archaeologists face a major challenge in interpreting the Rongorongo script of Easter Island, as it remains one of the world's undeciphered writing systems. This mysterious script found on wooden tablets and other artifacts on Easter Island, also known as Rapa Nui, has puzzled researchers for over a century. The Rongorongo glyphs consist of intricate, stylized figures that appear to represent natural and abstract forms. Experts believe they were created by the indigenous Rapa Nui people between the 11th and 16th centuries. However, when European explorers arrived on the island in the 19th century, the ability to read and write Rongorongo had been lost. Despite numerous attempts, archaeologists and linguists have yet to fully decipher the meaning of these enigmatic symbols. Some researchers suggest that Rongorongo may represent a form of proto-writing or mnemonic device rather than a true writing system. Others propose that it could be a syllabic or logographic script, possibly used to record genealogies, religious texts, or historical events. One of the main difficulties in deciphering Rongorongo is the limited number of surviving texts and a lack of bilingual documents that could provide a key to understanding the script. Archaeologists continue to study the context in which these artifacts were created and used in the hope of gaining information that will enable them to decipher this intriguing ancient writing system. The Olmec civilization, which flourished in ancient Mesoamerica between 1600 BC and 400 AD, left behind a legacy shrouded in mystery, particularly with regard to its writing system. This enigmatic script, often considered the first known writing system in the Americas, continues to perplex archaeologists and linguists alike. One of the main mysteries surrounding Olmec writing is its origin and development. Scholars debate whether the Olmecs invented their writing system independently or whether it evolved from earlier, unknown precursors. The scarcity of surviving Olmec texts further complicates efforts to trace its evolution, leaving researchers with only fragments of what was once a complex system. Another intriguing aspect is the relationship between Olmec writing and later Mesoamerican scripts, such as Mayan hieroglyphs. Some experts argue that Olmec writing directly influenced these later systems, while others suggest a parallel development. The lack of a clear understanding of the Olmec language and grammar adds another layer of complexity to deciphering their texts and determining their influence on later writing systems. Perhaps the most significant mystery is the meaning behind the few Olmec symbols and glyphs that have been discovered. Despite decades of study, many of these ancient markings remain undeciphered. The limited number of examples combined with the enormous time gap between the Olmec civilization and the present day makes the task of unlocking its secrets a formidable challenge for researchers. The deciphering of ancient scripts has revolutionized our understanding of history, opening windows into long-lost civilizations and revealing rich tapestries of human culture. One of the most significant breakthroughs came with the deciphering of Egyptian hieroglyphs in the early 19th century. This monumental achievement allowed scholars to read the wealth of texts left behind by the ancient Egyptians, from the great temple inscriptions to everyday documents on papyrus. Similarly, the deciphering of the cuneiform and form writing systems used in Mesopotamia has shed light on the complex societies of Sumer, Babylon, and Assyria. These ancient texts have provided invaluable insights into early legal codes, mythologies, and scientific knowledge, radically altering our perception of the ancient Near East. In the Americas, advances in reading Mayan glyphs have transformed our understanding of pre-Columbian civilizations. We now know that the Mayans had a sophisticated writing system that recorded their history, astronomical observations, and religious beliefs. This knowledge has dispelled many misconceptions about the complexity and achievements of ancient American cultures. The ability to read these ancient writings has not only filled gaps in our historical knowledge, but has also challenged many long-held assumptions. It has revealed the interconnectedness of ancient civilizations, the complexity of their social and political structures, and the depth of their scientific and philosophical thinking. As we continue to unlock the secrets of the oldest writing systems, our understanding of human history is enriched and nuanced. Researchers studying ancient symbolic systems face numerous challenges in their quest to decipher and interpret these enigmatic relics of past civilizations. One of the main obstacles is the lack of context surrounding these symbols. Without a clear understanding of the culture, beliefs, and daily life of the people who created them, it is extremely difficult to understand the meaning behind the symbols. The passage of time further complicates matters as languages evolve and cultural references change. What may have been common knowledge to the original creators of these symbols may have been completely lost to modern scholars. This temporal gap often leaves researchers grappling with multiple possible interpretations, each equally plausible given the limited information available. Another major challenge lies in the physical condition of the artifacts bearing these symbols. Weathering, erosion, and damage sustained over centuries or millennia can obscure or partially destroy crucial elements, leaving researchers with incomplete information. This fragmentation of data can lead to misinterpretations or gaps that are difficult to reconcile. The interdisciplinary nature of this research also poses its own challenges. The deciphering of ancient symbols often requires specialized knowledge from various fields such as linguistics, archaeology, anthropology, and even astronomy. Coordinating efforts across these disciplines and synthesizing the various perspectives can be a complex task, but it is essential for gaining a comprehensive understanding of these ancient symbolic systems. The Voynich manuscript is a perplexing enigma in the world of archaeology and historical linguistics. This peculiar book, dating from the early 15th century, has baffled scholars and code breakers for generations due to its indecipherable text and strange illustrations. What sets the Voynich manuscript apart is its unique writing system, consisting of an unknown alphabet that has resisted all attempts at translation. Despite centuries of study by linguists, cryptographers, and even computer algorithms, no one has been able to decipher its code or determine the language in which it was written. This impenetrability has led some to speculate that the manuscript is an elaborate hoax, while others believe it contains encrypted knowledge of great importance. The manuscript's unusual illustrations add to the mystery. They include depictions of unidentifiable plants, cosmic diagrams, and scenes of naked women in strange green baths. The purpose and meaning of these images remain as elusive as the text itself, fueling countless theories about the manuscript's origin and content. The inability to decipher the Voynich manuscript, despite modern technological advances, continues to captivate researchers and the public alike. Its resistance to interpretation challenges our understanding of historical languages and codes, making it a true archaeological mystery that persists into the 21st century. Music, the Yonaguni Monument, located off the coast of the Japanese island of Yonaguni, has sparked intense debate in the field of underwater archaeology. This enormous underwater rock formation, discovered in 1987, has puzzled scientists and enthusiasts alike due to its unusual characteristics and its possible implications for the history of humanity. At the heart of the controversy is the question of whether the Yonaguni Monument is a natural geological formation or an ancient man-made structure. Those who believe it is man-made point to its apparently geometric shapes, which include what appear to be terraces, stairways, and walls. They argue that these features are too regular and precise to have been produced naturally, suggesting that the monument could be the remnant of a sunken city from thousands of years ago. Skeptics, however, maintain that the Yonaguni Monument is the result of natural erosion and tectonic activity. They argue that the geology of the region, characterized by sandstone and lodolite, is prone to forming straight edges and angular shapes when eroded by the sea. These scientists maintain that while the formation is certainly impressive, it lacks clear evidence of human intervention, such as tool marks or join blocks. The debate surrounding the Yonaguni Monument goes beyond its origin and extends to its possible historical significance. If proven to be man-made, it could drastically alter our understanding of ancient civilizations in the region, potentially pushing back the chronology of advanced societies in Japan by thousands of years. This possibility has captured the imagination of many, but the lack of conclusive evidence keeps the Yonaguni Monument shrouded in mystery, making it a subject of research and speculation in the field of underwater archaeology. Underwater archaeology has revolutionized our understanding of ancient maritime cultures, revealing a treasure trove of information previously hidden beneath the waves. This field has allowed us to explore sunken cities, shipwrecks, and submerged landscapes, providing an unprecedented glimpse into the lives of seafaring civilizations. One of the most significant contributions of underwater archaeology has been the discovery of well-preserved artifacts and structures that would have long since decomposed on land. The cold, dark waters of the ocean act as a natural preservative, allowing archaeologists to recover items such as textiles, wooden objects, and even food remains. These discoveries have provided a more detailed picture of the daily life of ancient maritime societies, from their diets and commercial practices to their technological advances. Underwater excavations have also shed light on ancient naval warfare and shipbuilding techniques. By studying the construction and contents of sunken warships, archaeologists have gained valuable insights into naval strategies, weaponry, technology, and the scale of maritime conflicts in different historical periods. This information has often challenged or refined our previous understanding of naval history, providing a more accurate account of how the power of the sea shaped ancient civilizations. In addition, underwater archaeology has revealed the extent of ancient trade networks and cultural exchanges. The discovery of shipwrecks with diverse cargoes from distant lands has demonstrated the complexity and scope of maritime trade routes. These findings have shown that ancient societies were much more interconnected than previously believed, with goods, ideas, and technologies flowing across vast oceanic expanses. Pablo Petri, an ancient underwater city located off the southern coast of Greece, holds many intriguing secrets. This submerged settlement, dating back more than 5,000 years, offers a unique glimpse into life in the Bronze Age in the Mediterranean. One of the most puzzling mysteries surrounding Pavla Petri is how it ended up underwater. Theories range from gradual sea level rise to sudden earthquakes, but the exact cause remains uncertain. This uncertainty fuels ongoing debates among archaeologists and geologists who continue to study the site in search of clues about its submersion. Another fascinating aspect of Pavla Petri is its advanced urban planning. The city has a complex network of streets, buildings, and tombs, suggesting a sophisticated society with a well-developed infrastructure. This level of organization challenges our understanding of early Bronze Age settlements and raises questions about the technological capabilities of its inhabitants. The daily life of Pavla Petri's inhabitants also remains shrouded in mystery. Although artifacts provide some clues, many aspects of their culture, social structure, and economic activities remain unknown. Ongoing underwater excavations continue to uncover new finds, slowly piecing together the puzzle of life in this ancient sunken city and reshaping our understanding of early Mediterranean civilizations. The discovery of sunken cities, such as Heraklion, opens an extraordinary window into the ancient world and provides archaeologists with an unprecedented opportunity to study well-preserved artifacts and structures. Unlike land archaeological sites, which have often been altered by centuries of human activity, these submerged ruins have remained virtually untouched since they slipped beneath the waves. Heraklion, located off the coast of Egypt, offers a particularly rich treasure trove of information about the ancient Egyptian and Greek civilizations. The city's submersion has preserved delicate objects that would have long since disintegrated on land, such as wooden boats, intricate jewelry, and even food remains. These finds allow archaeologists to gain a more complete picture of daily life, trade networks, and religious practices in the ancient Mediterranean. In addition, sunken cities challenge our understanding of historical geography and climate change. Their existence provides tangible evidence of how coastlines have shifted over the millennia, offering valuable data on sea level changes and geological events. This information is crucial, not only for understanding our past, but also for predicting future changes in our coastal regions. The technology used to explore these underwater sites is also pushing the boundaries of archaeological methods. Advanced sonar mapping, remote-controlled vehicles, and underwater excavation techniques are revolutionizing this field, allowing researchers to study these submerged treasures in ways that were impossible just a few decades ago. It is quite possible that these innovations will lead to the discovery of other lost cities, promising even more revelations about our ancient past. Underwater archaeological sites present unique challenges that require specialized techniques and equipment. The marine environment itself poses significant obstacles as water pressure increases dramatically as divers descend to greater depths. This limits the amount of time researchers can spend at a site and requires careful planning to maximize productivity during each dive. Visibility is often a major issue in underwater excavations. Murky waters, disturbed sediments, and marine growth can obscure artifacts and structures, making it difficult to document and analyze finds accurately. Researchers must rely on advanced imaging technologies and careful mapping techniques to overcome these visibility limitations. The corrosive nature of salt water poses another significant challenge. Many objects, especially metal ones, can deteriorate rapidly once exposed to the underwater environment. Archaeologists must work quickly to recover and stabilize these objects, often using specialized conservation techniques to prevent further deterioration. This race against time adds an additional level of complexity to underwater excavations. Preserving the context of underwater sites is also crucial, but difficult. Ocean currents, storms, and marine life can alter the arrangement of artifacts and structures over time. Researchers must meticulously document the position and relationship of all finds in order to accurately reconstruct the original context. In addition, protecting these sites from looting and unintentional damage caused by divers or fishing activities requires ongoing surveillance and sometimes legal protection measures. Underwater archaeology presents unique challenges and opportunities for scientists studying ancient structures beneath the waves. When examining sites, such as those discovered off the coast of Cuba, archaeologists employ a range of specialized techniques and technologies to interpret these enigmatic formations. Sonar mapping and remote sensing tools allow researchers to create detailed, three-dimensional models of underwater landscapes without disturbing the site. These images help archaeologists identify possible human-made structures and plan further research. Underwater robots equipped with high-resolution cameras provide close-up visual data, allowing experts to examine textures, patterns, and possible tool marks that could indicate artificial construction. Marine archaeologists also analyze the geological context of these structures. They consider factors such as local rock formations, underwater currents, and historical sea level changes to determine whether the structures could be natural in origin or are likely the result of human activity. In the case of the Cuban site, debate continues as to whether the formations are the remains of an ancient civilization or simply unusual natural rock formations. Dating techniques adapted to underwater environments help establish the chronology of these structures. Archaeologists can collect samples of organic matter trapped inside or around the structures to date them using radiocarbon dating or other methods, such as optically stimulated luminescence to determine when the rocks were last exposed to sunlight. This information, combined with knowledge of local history and cultural development, allows researchers to place the underwater structures in a broader historical context and assess their potential significance. The submerged stone circles discovered in Lake Michigan have sparked numerous theories about their purpose and origin. Some researchers propose that these structures may have served as ancient calendars or observatories used by early inhabitants to track seasonal changes and celestial events. This idea draws parallels with other stone formations known around the world that had similar purposes. Another theory suggests that the circles may have been part of a fishing system. Ancient cultures may have used these structures to create artificial reefs, attracting fish to specific areas for easier capture. This practical explanation is consistent with the ingenuity often observed in early human settlements near bodies of water. Some experts speculate that the circles may have had spiritual or ceremonial significance. They may have been used for rituals or as sacred sites, possibly related to beliefs or practices based on water by the indigenous peoples who once inhabited the region. The deliberate placement and arrangement of the stones support this cultural interpretation. A more controversial theory proposes that the circles are evidence of prehistoric structures built at a time when the water level was much lower, possibly during the last ice age. This hypothesis, while intriguing, remains highly debated among archaeologists and geologists due to the extreme age it would imply for the formations. As research progresses, scientists hope to uncover more clues to solve the mystery of these enigmatic underwater stone circles in Lake Michigan. Underwater archaeology has revolutionized our understanding of ancient trade routes, revealing a hidden world of commerce and cultural exchange beneath the waves, exploring shipwrecks and sunken ports. Archaeologists have reconstructed intricate maritime trade networks that crisscrossed the ancient world. These underwater excavations have revealed cargo holds filled with diverse goods, from exotic spices and precious metals to everyday ceramics and textiles. These discoveries provide tangible evidence of the extensive trade links between distant civilizations, far beyond what was previously known from terrestrial archaeological sites and historical records. An important contribution of underwater archaeology is its knowledge of the technology and construction of ancient ships. By studying well-preserved wooden vessels on the seabed, researchers have gained valuable insights into shipbuilding techniques, navigation methods, and the skills of ancient seafarers. This information helps us better understand how traders overcame enormous distances and treacherous waters to conduct their business. In addition, underwater archaeology has shed light on lesser-known trade routes and ports that played a crucial role in ancient economies. Submerged ports and coastal settlements, now hidden beneath rising sea levels, have been discovered and studied, revealing complex trade networks that connected diverse cultures across oceans and seas. These findings continue to redefine our understanding of ancient global trade and its impact on the development of civilizations. The submerged ruins discovered in the Gulf of Cambay, off the west coast of India, have sparked great curiosity and intense debate among archaeologists and historians. These underwater structures, first detected in 2001, lie at depths of up to 40 m below the surface and cover an area of several kilometers. Initial sonar explorations revealed what appeared to be the remains of enormous walls, buildings, and even entire city blocks. Some researchers have suggested that these ruins could be the remains of an ancient urban center dating back 7,000 to 9,000 years. If true, the ruins of Cambay would be one of the oldest urban settlements in the world, predating the first known civilizations of Mesopotamia and Egypt. However, the true nature and age of these underwater structures remain a subject of controversy. Some experts argue that they could be natural geological features rather than man-made constructions. The difficulty of conducting thorough underwater excavations and the poor visibility in the murky waters of the Gulf have hampered efforts to definitively identify and date the site. Adding to the intrigue, artifacts recovered from the area include pottery shards, jewelry, and even human remains. These findings have led some researchers to speculate about the possibility of an advanced civilization that flourished in the region before rising sea levels submerged it. However, more research and careful analysis are needed to unravel the mysteries surrounding these enigmatic underwater ruins and their potential significance in rewriting our understanding of ancient human history. Underwater archaeological sites containing advanced structures have been puzzling researchers for decades. These submerged ruins, found in various locations around the world, often feature sophisticated architectural and engineering features that seem out of place for their supposed age and origin. One explanation for these advanced underwater structures is that they were built during periods of lower sea levels, when the Earth was above water. With rising global temperatures and melting ice caps, sea levels rose, gradually submerging coastal settlements and structures. This theory explains the existence of many underwater sites near today's coastlines, such as the ruins of Alexandria in Egypt. However, some underwater structures are found at depths that cannot be explained solely by sea level changes. In these cases, researchers propose that geological events such as earthquakes or landslides may have caused portions of land to sink, taking structures with them. The sunken city of Port Royal in Jamaica, for example, was submerged when an earthquake struck in 1692, causing parts of the city to slide into the sea. Another intriguing hypothesis suggests that some advanced underwater structures could be the remains of unknown civilizations with sophisticated maritime technologies. Although this idea remains controversial, it encourages researchers to keep an open mind and continue exploring the mysteries hidden beneath the waves, expanding the limits of our understanding of the capabilities and history of ancient humanity. The London hammer, discovered in London, Texas, in the 1930s, poses a puzzling enigma for archaeologists and geologists alike. This ordinary-looking tool, consisting of a wooden handle and an iron hammerhead, was found embedded in a rock that appears to be millions of years old. The enigma lies in the apparent contradiction between the age of the surrounding stone and the modern design of the hammer itself. Geologists have dated the rock formation in which the hammer was found to the Ordovician period, approximately 450 million years ago. This timeline is drastically earlier than the emergence of modern humans and their ability to create metal tools. The sophisticated design of the hammer, with a contoured wooden handle and a precisely forged metal head, corresponds to tools manufactured in the last few thousand years. Adding to the mystery, the metal of the hammer head exhibits an unusually high purity. Some analyses suggest that it contains 96% iron, 26% chlorine, and 0.74% sulfur. This composition is highly unusual in ancient iron artifacts and has led to speculation about advanced metallurgical techniques. Skeptics argue that the hammer could have fallen into a crack in the rock and subsequently been covered by mineral concretion, a process that can occur relatively quickly under certain conditions. However, proponents of its ancient origin point to the lack of evidence for such a recent encasement. The London hammer continues to fuel debate about the accuracy of conventional dating methods and the possibility that advanced civilizations existed long before we currently believe. Archaeologists approach the discovery of seemingly modern objects in ancient strata with careful analysis and scientific rigor. These finds, often referred to as out-of-place artifacts or OO parts, require extensive research to determine their true nature and origin. In many cases, what initially appears to be a modern object in an ancient layer turns out to have a logical explanation. Natural processes such as erosion, earthquakes, or animal burrows can alter soil layers and displace younger objects into older strata. Human activities such as construction, agriculture, or even previous archaeological excavations can also mix soil layers, leading to confusing finds. Sometimes objects that appear modern are actually ancient technologies that are more advanced than previously thought. For example, the Antikythera mechanism, an ancient Greek device used to calculate astronomical positions, was so sophisticated that it was initially mistaken for a much more recent invention. When truly inexplicable artifacts are found, archaeologists subject them to rigorous testing and peer review. They use techniques such as radiocarbon dating, thermoluminescence, and chemical analysis to determine the age and composition of an object. Often, what seems inexplicable at first becomes clear with further research and technological advances in archaeological methods. The Antikythera mechanism, discovered in a shipwreck off the Greek island of Antikythera, has fascinated scientists and historians for over a century. This ancient Greek device, often called the world's first analog computer, dates back to around 150 or 100 BC. Theories about its origin suggest that it was probably created on the island of Rhodes, known for its advanced astronomical knowledge and mechanical expertise at the time. As for its purpose, the prevailing theory is that the Antikythera mechanism was an incredibly sophisticated astronomical calculator. It could predict celestial events, such as eclipses, and track the movements of celestial bodies with remarkable accuracy. Some researchers believe that it was used to plan religious festivals and agricultural activities, which, in ancient Greek culture, were often linked to celestial events. Another intriguing theory proposes that the mechanism served as an educational tool, helping students understand complex astronomical concepts. Its intricate gears could have shown the movements of the planets and the moon, making it a valuable teaching tool for students of the cosmos. Some scholars have even suggested that the device may have had astrological applications, potentially used to cast horoscopes or predict auspicious times for various activities. However, the complexity and precision of the mechanism indicate that its primary purpose was probably scientific rather than mystical. The Antikythera mechanism continues to challenge our understanding of the technology and astronomical knowledge of ancient Greece. The Klerksdorp spheres, found in South Africa, have puzzled researchers and sparked a debate about their origin and nature. These small spherical objects, measuring a few centimeters in diameter, have attracted attention due to their unusual appearance and properties. Some have claimed that these spheres are man-made creations, potentially of extraterrestrial origin, leading to their classification as out-of-place artifacts. However, scientific analysis has revealed a more down-to-earth explanation. In reality, The Klerksdorp spheres are natural objects formed by geological processes. They are concretions, compact masses of mineral matter that form in layers of sedimentary rock. These particular concretions are composed of pyrite and other minerals, which give them their characteristic appearance. The confusion surrounding these objects stems from their extraordinarily spherical shape and the presence of parallel grooves or ridges on some specimens. These characteristics, although unusual, are the result of natural crystallization and weathering processes. The pyrite concretions formed in ancient volcanic sediments and over millions of years were shaped by geological forces and erosion. Despite scientific consensus on their natural origin, the Klerksdorp spheres continue to captivate the imagination of many. Their story reminds us of the complex and often surprising ways in which geological processes can create intriguing natural phenomena, challenging our understanding and encouraging further scientific investigation. Researchers approach artifacts such as the Koso artifact with a combination of scientific rigor and curiosity. The Koso artifact, discovered in California in 1961, initially puzzled researchers because of its unusual appearance and seemingly out-of-place components. When examining these findings, scientists employ a range of analytical techniques. These include radiometric dating to determine age, spectroscopy to identify material composition, and microscopic analysis to study surface characteristics and internal structures. They also take into account the geological context in which the artifact was found, as this can provide crucial information about its origin and history. In the case of the Koso artifact, initial excitement about its potential as evidence of advanced ancient technology gave way to more mundane explanations. Close examination revealed that it was a spark plug from the 1920s encrusted with minerals over time. This highlights the importance of thorough research and a willingness to revise hypotheses based on evidence. Researchers also consider the broader implications of their findings. They examine how an artifact fits into our understanding of human history, technological development, and geological processes. By interpreting these findings within a broader context, scientists can gain valuable insights into past civilizations and natural phenomena, constantly refining our knowledge of the world around us. The Tiksi Calixla head is a fascinating artifact that has sparked intense debate among archaeologists and historians. This small terracotta sculpture, resembling a bearded man with European features, was discovered in 1933 during an excavation in the Toluca Valley in central Mexico. What makes this find so controversial are its possible implications for pre-Columbian contact between the Old and New Worlds. The main source of controversy surrounding the Tiksi Calixla head is its apparent Roman style. Some experts argue that the sculpture closely resembles Roman objects from the 2nd and 3rd centuries AD. If authentic, this would suggest that there may have been contact between ancient Rome and Mesoamerica long before Christopher Columbus arrived in the Americas. However, many archaeologists are skeptical of these claims. They point out that the circumstances surrounding the discovery of the head are not well documented and that its provenance cannot be verified with certainty. Some suggest that the artifact could be a hoax or a misidentified object from a much later period. Critics also argue that if there was Roman contact, there should be more substantial evidence in the archaeological record. Despite the ongoing debates, the Tiksi Calixla head continues to intrigue researchers and challenge our understanding of ancient intercultural interactions. Its existence raises questions about the possibility of transoceanic travel and cultural exchanges occurring much earlier than previously thought. As archaeological techniques advance, analysis of this enigmatic artifact may yield new insights into its true origin and significance. Archaeologists approach the discovery of anomalous metal objects in coal seams with caution and scientific rigor. These finds, often referred to as out-of-place artifacts, require careful examination and analysis to determine their true nature and origin. When metal objects are found in coal seams, the first step is to verify the authenticity of the find. This involves documenting the exact location, examining the surrounding geological context, and ensuring that the object was actually embedded in the coal and was not introduced later through mining or other human activities. If the presence of the object in the coal seam is confirmed, archaeologists and geologists collaborate to date both the coal and the artifact. Coal formed millions of years ago, long before human civilization. Therefore, finding a man-made object in such ancient deposits would be highly unusual and could challenge our understanding of human history. In most cases, these anomalous finds have more mundane explanations. They may be pieces of mining equipment mistaken for ancient artifacts, natural mineral formations that resemble man-made objects, or even deliberate hoaxes. Rigorous scientific investigation usually reveals the true nature of these discoveries, underscoring the importance of thorough research and skepticism in archaeology. The mysterious Betz sphere, discovered in Florida in 1974, has sparked numerous theories about its purpose and origin. Some researchers suggest that it could be an alien artifact, pointing to its unusual properties, such as its ability to seemingly defy gravity and move on its own. Others propose that it could be a lost piece of terrestrial technology, possibly from a secret military project or an advanced scientific experiment. A widely held theory maintains that the sphere is actually a component of a naval or industrial buoy that broke loose and washed ashore. This explanation attempts to account for the object's corrosion-resistant metallic composition and perfect spherical shape. However, skeptics of this theory argue that it does not explain the sphere's anomalous behavior. Another intriguing hypothesis proposes that the Betz sphere is a time capsule of extraterrestrial origin designed to activate and reveal its contents under specific conditions. This idea is based on reports of strange sounds emanating from the object and its apparent responsiveness to certain stimuli. However, no concrete evidence has been found to support this claim. Despite extensive analysis, including X-rays and other tests, the true nature and origin of the Betz sphere remain a mystery. The object continues to fascinate researchers and enthusiasts alike and serves as a reminder of the many unexplained phenomena that challenge our understanding of the world around us. Ancient maps depicting unexplored territories have long fascinated historians and adventurers alike. These cartographic enigmas often offer tantalizing glimpses of lands beyond the known world, sparking curiosity and speculation about their origins and accuracy. One of the most intriguing aspects of these maps is the occasional inclusion of details that explorers would not officially discover for centuries. For example, some medieval European maps showed hints of the Americas long before Columbus set sail. This astonishing accuracy raises questions about the sources of information available to ancient cartographers and the possibility of undocumented voyages prior to official explorations. Furthermore, these maps often blend reality and fiction, populating unknown regions with fantastical creatures, mythical lands, and speculative geography. The famous phrase, "Here be dragons," sums up this practice of filling in the blanks with imaginative elements. This mixture of real and imaginary elements adds to the appeal of maps, which offer a glimpse into the beliefs, fears, and aspirations of past civilizations. The methods used to create these maps also contribute to their mysterious nature. Ancient cartographers often relied on a combination of first-hand accounts, travelers' stories, and conjecture to reconstruct their view of the world. The result was maps that were part scientific document, part artistic interpretation, and part cultural artifact, making them rich sources of information about how our ancestors understood and imagined their world. Researchers who study supposedly out-of-place artifacts employ a rigorous, multidisciplinary approach to separate fact from fiction. They begin by thoroughly documenting the location where the artifact was discovered, including its geological context and any associated materials. This crucial step helps establish the true age and origin of the object. Next, experts conduct detailed physical examinations of the artifact itself. They use advanced techniques such as radiocarbon dating, thermoluminescence, and elemental analysis to determine the composition and age of the object. These methods can reveal whether an artifact is truly ancient or a more recent creation. Archaeologists and historians also play a key role in this process. They compare the artifact with known objects from different time periods and cultures, looking for similarities in design, materials, and manufacturing techniques. This comparative analysis helps determine whether the object is truly out of place or has simply been misidentified. Finally, researchers consider the broader context of the artifact's supposed age and origin. They examine historical records, analyze similar finds, and consult experts in relevant fields to arrive at a comprehensive understanding of the object's significance. This thorough, evidence-based approach ensures that extraordinary claims about out-of-place artifacts are subjected to rigorous scientific scrutiny before being accepted or rejected. Music. Archaeologists have discovered remarkable evidence of advanced astronomical knowledge in ancient structures around the world. These findings reveal that our ancestors possessed a sophisticated understanding of celestial movements and cycles, far beyond what was previously thought possible for early civilizations. Many ancient structures, such as Stonehenge in England and the pyramids of Egypt, show precise alignments with celestial events such as solstices and equinoxes. This suggests that their builders had a deep understanding of the sun's annual path across the sky. In Mesoamerica, structures such as the Mayan Observatory at Chichen Itza show an even more complex knowledge of astronomy, with buildings designed to track the movements of Venus and other planets. To explain this advanced knowledge, archaeologists propose that ancient cultures developed their astronomical expertise over centuries of careful observation and recording. They probably used this knowledge for practical purposes, such as creating accurate calendars for agriculture and religious ceremonies. Some researchers also suggest that astronomical observations may have been seen as a way of understanding and predicting the will of the gods. The presence of this astronomical knowledge in diverse cultures around the world indicates that the study of the night sky was a fundamental aspect of human civilization. It highlights the universal human drive to understand our place in the cosmos, a quest that continues to this day with our modern exploration of space. The Antikythera mechanism is an extraordinary testament to the astronomical knowledge of ancient civilizations. This intricate device, discovered in a shipwreck off the Greek island of Antikythera, dates back to between 150 and 100 BC. Its complexity and precision amaze modern scientists and reveal a level of technological sophistication that was thought impossible for its time. Essentially, the Antikythera mechanism is an analog computer designed to predict astronomical positions and eclipses. It consists of a complex system of ideal bronze gears that accurately track the movements of celestial bodies. The device could calculate the positions of the sun, moon, and planets, as well as predict solar and lunar eclipses with remarkable accuracy. The mechanism demonstrates a deep understanding of celestial mechanics and mathematical principles. It incorporates sophisticated gear systems, including a differential gear that was not rediscovered until the 10th century. This level of engineering challenges our perception of the technological capabilities of antiquity and suggests a much more advanced knowledge of astronomy and mathematics than previously believed. Perhaps most impressive is that the Antikythera mechanism integrates complex astronomical cycles, such as the Metonic cycle and the Saros cycle, into its mechanical operation. This integration of theoretical knowledge into a practical and functional device demonstrates the ability of the ancient Greeks to translate abstract concepts into tangible and useful tools. In this way, the Antikythera mechanism serves as a bridge between ancient astronomical theory and its practical application, cementing its status as an extraordinary testament to early scientific achievement. Ancient civilizations demonstrated a remarkable ability to align their monumental structures with celestial bodies and events. This precision was the result of a combination of careful observation, mathematical knowledge, and ingenious engineering techniques. Many ancient cultures, such as the Egyptian, Mayan, and Aztec developed sophisticated methods for tracking celestial movements. They used simple but effective tools, such as shadow sticks and horizon markers, to observe the sun, moon, and stars over long periods of time. These observations allowed them to create accurate calendars and predict celestial events with impressive accuracy. The knowledge gained from these observations was then applied to the construction of monuments. Surveyors and architects used techniques such as the plumb line, a weight suspended from a string to establish straight vertical lines. They also used ditches filled with water to ensure that surfaces were level over long distances. These methods, combined with their knowledge of geometry, enabled them to create structures aligned with specific celestial events or cardinal points. One of the most famous examples of this precision is the Great Pyramid of Giza. Its sides are almost perfectly aligned with the cardinal points, with a deviation of only a fraction of a degree. This level of precision highlights the advanced knowledge and meticulous planning of the ancient Egyptian builders, challenging our perception of what was possible without modern technology. Ancient astronomical observatories, such as the one at Chichen Itza, have long fascinated archaeologists and astronomers alike. These structures were much more than simple buildings. They were sophisticated instruments for observing and predicting celestial events. A widely held theory suggests that the Caracol Tower at Chichen Itza served as an advanced observatory for tracking the movements of Venus. The Maya considered Venus to be very important and associated it with their god Kukulkan. Researchers believe that the windows of the building were precisely aligned to mark important points in the cycle of Venus, allowing priests to predict its appearances and disappearances. Another theory proposes that these observatories were crucial for agricultural planning. By accurately predicting solstices, equinoxes, and other celestial events, the Maya could determine the best times to plant and harvest crops. This knowledge would have been vital to the survival and prosperity of their civilization. Some scholars argue that astronomical observatories also served important political and religious functions. By demonstrating their ability to predict celestial events, Mayan rulers could reinforce their divine right to rule by claiming a special connection to the gods. These structures thus became powerful symbols of authority and cosmic knowledge, blending science with spiritual beliefs in a uniquely Mesoamerican way. Researchers use a multifaceted approach to interpret the astronomical symbolism of ancient artifacts. They combine archaeological evidence, historical records, and astronomical knowledge to decipher the meaning of these intriguing relics. One key method involves analyzing the position and alignment of structures or symbols with celestial bodies. For example, many ancient monuments were built to align with specific stars or solar events, such as solstices or equinoxes. By studying these alignments, researchers can deduce the astronomical knowledge and cultural significance that ancient civilizations attributed to celestial phenomena. Comparative analysis also plays a crucial role. Experts examine similar symbols across different cultures and time periods, looking for shared patterns and meanings. This approach helps identify widely held astronomical concepts and how they were represented in different societies. To understand the purpose and meaning of astronomical symbols, researchers also rely on contextual clues such as accompanying inscriptions or related artifacts. By bringing together these diverse sources of information, scientists can reconstruct ancient people's understanding of the cosmos and its importance in their lives, shedding light on their scientific knowledge, religious beliefs, and cultural practices. The Dogon people of Mali have long fascinated researchers with their apparent astronomical knowledge that seems to exceed what should be possible for an isolated African tribe. At the heart of this mystery lies their knowledge of Sirius, the brightest star in the night sky. Apparently, the Dogon knew about Sirius B, a star in White Anna, Sirius's companion, which is invisible to the naked eye and was not discovered by Western astronomers until the mid-19th century. Even more intriguing, the Dogon supposedly had knowledge of Sirius C, a third star in the system, whose existence is still debated by modern astronomers. They describe Sirius B as small, heavy, and white, which accurately reflects its nature as a white dwarf. The sacred traditions of the Dogon also included information about the orbital period of Sirius B, which they claimed took 50 years to complete one revolution around Sirius A, which is remarkably close to the actual orbital period of 501 years. This knowledge has given rise to various theories about its origin. Some researchers suggest that the Dogon may have had contact with an advanced ancient civilization or even extraterrestrial beings. Others propose that their astronomical information may have come from European visitors in more recent times, possibly French anthropologists or missionaries. Skeptics argue that the Dogon's astronomical knowledge could have been misinterpreted or exaggerated by researchers. They suggest that the tribe's cosmology could be a mixture of indigenous beliefs and information acquired from external sources over time. The mystery of the Dogon's astronomical knowledge continues to spark debate and remains an intriguing puzzle at the intersection of anthropology and astronomy. Ancient cultures developed extraordinary methods for predicting celestial events through careful observation and meticulous record-keeping over generations. Civilizations such as the Babylonians, Mayans, and Chinese astronomers tracked the movements of celestial bodies, observing patterns and cycles that repeated over time. These early sky watchers created detailed calendars and star maps, often carving or painting their observations on stone tablets or clay. They realized that celestial events, such as lunar eclipses and planetary alignments, followed predictable patterns. By documenting these events over the centuries, they were able to predict future events with surprising accuracy. One of the most impressive examples is the Antikythera mechanism, an ancient Greek device dating back to around 150 BC. This complex analog computer could predict astronomical positions and eclipses for calendrical and astrological purposes. Its sophistication demonstrates the depth of astronomical knowledge possessed by ancient cultures. Many ancient observatories, such as Stonehenge in England and Chichén Itzá in Mexico, were also designed to track celestial movements. These structures acted as giant calendars, aligning with the sun, moon, and stars at specific times of the year, allowing priests and astronomers to predict solstices, equinoxes, and other significant celestial events with remarkable accuracy. Ancient civilizations have left us intriguing clues about their astronomical knowledge, including evidence that they may have known about planets beyond those visible to the naked eye. One of the most compelling pieces of evidence comes from Mesopotamia, where clay tablets dating back to 2000 BC contain surprisingly accurate information about the movements of Venus. These observations were so accurate that some researchers speculate that the Babylonians may have used some kind of primitive lens to observe the stars. In ancient India, the earliest known astronomical texts, known as the Vedas, mention the existence of multiple planets, including references to celestial bodies that some interpret as possible allusions to Uranus or Neptune. Although these interpretations remain controversial, they highlight the sophisticated astronomical traditions of many ancient cultures. The most famous case is that of the Dogon people of Mali, whose traditions describe a companion star to Sirius that is invisible to the naked eye. This star, now known as Sirius B, was not discovered by Western astronomers until the 19th century, while some argue that this knowledge could have come from more recent contacts with modern astronomers. Others see it as potential evidence of ancient astronomical capabilities that surpassed our current understanding. It is important to note that while these examples are intriguing, they remain a subject of debate in the scientific community. The line separating ancient astronomical knowledge and modern interpretations is often blurred and requires careful analysis of historical, cultural, and archaeological evidence to draw firm conclusions about what ancient civilizations really knew about the cosmos. Ancient cultures developed extraordinarily sophisticated calendrical systems through careful observation and meticulous record-keeping over many generations. Archaeologists have uncovered evidence of these complex methods of timekeeping in various civilizations around the world. One of the most famous examples is the Mayan calendar, which combined multiple cycles to track time with astonishing accuracy. The Mayans used a system that included a 52-year cycle known as the round calendar, along with a longer cycle called the long count. This allowed them to accurately date events over long periods of time, demonstrating their advanced knowledge of astronomical cycles. In ancient Egypt, the calendar was closely linked to the annual flooding of the Nile River, which was crucial for agriculture. Egyptian priests developed a solar calendar based on the Eliacal rising of the star Sirius, which coincided with the flood. This calendar consisted of 365 days divided into 12 months of 30 days, each with 5 additional days at the end of the year. Archaeologists explain that these advanced systems were developed over centuries of astronomical observations, combined with the practical needs of agriculture and religious ceremonies. The sophistication of these calendars reflects the importance that ancient cultures placed on understanding and predicting natural cycles, which were essential for their survival and cultural practices. Stonehenge has long fascinated archaeologists and astronomers alike, giving rise to numerous theories about its purpose and connection to the cosmos. One theory suggests that Stonehenge was an ancient observatory that allowed our ancestors to track celestial movements and predict important astronomical events. The alignment of the stones at Stonehenge with key solar and lunar positions has led researchers to propose that it functioned as a calendar. The monument's main axis aligns perfectly with the sunrise at midsummer and the sunset at midwinter, indicating a clear intention to mark the solstices. This alignment could have helped the ancients determine the beginning of the seasons, crucial for agricultural planning and religious ceremonies. Some scholars argue that Stonehenge may have been used to predict eclipses. The position of certain stones seems to correspond to the 18.6-year cycle of the lunar nodes, which could have allowed expert observers to predict both solar and lunar eclipses. This knowledge would have given its possessors significant power and prestige within their community. Beyond practical applications, Stonehenge may have served as a symbolic representation of the cosmos as understood by its builders. The circular shape and careful placement of the stones may reflect their perception of celestial patterns, creating a tangible link between the earthly and heavenly realms. This cosmic connection may have imbued the site with religious or spiritual significance, turning it into a center for rituals and gatherings linked to astronomical events. Music. The collapse of the Mayan civilization has puzzled researchers for decades, giving rise to various theories about its sudden decline. One of the main explanations focuses on environmental factors, particularly severe droughts that may have struck the region. Lake sediments and cave formations suggest a series of prolonged periods of drought that could have devastated Mayan agriculture, leading to food shortages and social unrest. Another theory points to the role of deforestation and environmental degradation. As the Maya population grew, they cleared large areas of forest for agriculture and city building. This large-scale deforestation may have altered local weather patterns, exacerbating drought conditions and eroding fertile soil, ultimately undermining their agricultural base. Some researchers propose that war and political instability played a crucial role in the fall of the Maya. Archaeological evidence reveals an increase in conflicts between city-states in the late Classic period. This constant warfare could have disrupted trade networks, depleted resources, and weakened the social fabric of Maya society. Finally, some scholars suggest that it was a combination of these factors, rather than a single cause, that led to the Mayan collapse. The interaction of environmental stress, overpopulation, and political conflicts could have created a perfect storm that the Mayan civilization was unable to weather, leading to its disintegration and the abandonment of its great cities. The disappearance of the Anasazi people, now better known as the ancestral Pueblo people, has long intrigued archaeologists and historians. These ancient Native Americans inhabited the Four Corners region of the southwestern United States for more than 1,000 years before apparently disappearing around the year 1300. Recent archaeological evidence suggests that severe drought played an important role in their departure. Tree rings indicate a prolonged period of drought that would have made agriculture increasingly difficult. This environmental stress probably led to food shortages and social unrest, forcing the ancestral Pueblo people to abandon their cliff dwellings and large houses. However, it is essential to understand that the ancestral Pueblo people did not simply disappear. Instead, they migrated to areas with more reliable water sources and better agricultural conditions. Archaeological and genetic evidence shows that many moved south to what is now Arizona and New Mexico, integrating with other Pueblo groups. Some of their descendants are found among modern-day peoples, such as the Hopi and Zuni. The history of the ancient Puebloans is a powerful reminder of how climate change can affect human societies. Their adaptive response to environmental challenges demonstrates the resilience and ingenuity of ancient cultures in the face of adversity. The decline of the Indus Valley Civilization remains one of the most intriguing enigmas of ancient history. This advanced urban society that flourished on the Indian subcontinent between 2600 and 1900 BC suddenly began to decline, perplexing archaeologists and historians. One of the leading theories suggests that climate change played a crucial role in the collapse of the civilization. Evidence indicates that the region experienced a prolonged period of drought that could have severely affected agricultural productivity. This environmental change could have led to food shortages, social unrest, and ultimately the abandonment of major urban centers. Another mystery surrounds the absence of clear signs of external invasion or widespread conflict. Unlike other ancient civilizations that fell to conquering armies, the sites in the Indus Valley show little evidence of violent destruction. This has led some experts to propose that internal factors, such as changes in trade patterns or the depletion of natural resources, may have contributed to the decline. The disappearance of Indus writing adds another layer to the mystery. This undeciphered writing system vanished along with the civilization, leaving behind tantalizing clues about the culture's knowledge and beliefs. The inability to read these texts has hampered our understanding of the civilization's final days and the reasons for its collapse. As researchers continue to unearth new evidence, the enigma of the decline of the Indus Valley Civilization remains a subject of study and debate. The fate of the Rapa Nui civilization on Easter Island remains the subject of intense debate among researchers due to conflicting evidence and interpretations. This remote Pacific island, famous for its enigmatic stone statues called moai, has long captivated scientists and the public alike. A prominent theory suggests that the Rapa Nui people experienced a dramatic collapse due to environmental degradation. Its proponents argue that the islanders overexploited their limited resources, particularly by cutting down palm forests for statue transport and agriculture. This deforestation allegedly led to soil erosion, reduced crop yields, and ultimately the collapse of society. However, other researchers question this theory, pointing to evidence of sustainable practices and resilience among the Rapa Nui. They argue that the population decline was more gradual and complex, influenced by factors such as European contact, introduced diseases, and slave raids. These scholars highlight the Rapa Nui people's ability to adapt to environmental challenges. Recent archaeological findings have further complicated the picture, revealing evidence that statue carving continued and that sophisticated agricultural techniques existed even after the arrival of Europeans. This ongoing debate highlights the complexity of understanding ancient civilizations and the dangers of oversimplifying historical accounts. As research continues, our understanding of the Rapa Nui civilization and its fate continues to evolve, underscoring the importance of interdisciplinary approaches to unraveling the mysteries of the past. Archaeologists studying ancient Mesopotamia have uncovered fascinating evidence of societal collapse through careful examination of material remains and environmental data. They analyzed changes in settlement patterns, looking for signs of population decline or abandonment of major urban centers. Excavations often reveal layers of destruction or abandonment, providing clues about the timing and nature of collapses. A key indicator that archaeologists focus on is the disintegration of complex social systems. They look for evidence of declining trade networks, reduced craft specialization, and simplification of administrative structures. This can be seen in the disappearance of certain luxury items, changes in pottery styles, or a reduction in the variety of artifacts found at sites. Environmental evidence plays a crucial role in understanding social collapse. Archaeologists examine pollen samples, tree rings, and soil composition to reconstruct past climatic conditions. They often find correlations between periods of severe drought or other environmental stresses and signs of social unrest. This data helps researchers understand how environmental factors may have contributed to or exacerbated social and economic problems. Textual evidence, when available, provides additional information. The cuneiform tablets of Mesopotamia sometimes describe famines, wars, or social unrest that can be linked to archaeological evidence of decline. By combining these pieces of evidence, archaeologists can form a general picture of how and why ancient Mesopotamian societies experience periods of collapse and transformation. The Olmec civilization, one of the oldest and most influential cultures in Mesoamerica, disappeared about 2,500 years ago, leaving behind colossal stone heads and other enigmatic artifacts. Several theories attempt to explain its disappearance, each shedding light on different aspects of this ancient mystery. One prominent theory suggests that environmental changes played a crucial role. Some researchers propose that major alterations to the region's river systems disrupted the Olmec's agricultural practices. These changes could have led to crop failures, food shortages, and ultimately the collapse of society. The Olmecs were heavily dependent on agriculture, particularly corn cultivation, so any major disruption to their food supply could have had catastrophic consequences. Another hypothesis focuses on internal social and political factors. Some scholars argue that increasing social inequality and political instability within Olmec society could have led to its downfall. As the elite class became more powerful and demanding, the burden on the general population may have become unsustainable, leading to revolt or the gradual abandonment of Olmec centers. External pressures from neighboring cultures may also have contributed to the Olmec decline. As other Mesoamerican civilizations grew in power and influence, the Olmecs may have faced increased competition for resources and trade routes. This competition may have weakened their economic and political position, ultimately leading to their cultural disintegration and assimilation into other groups. The decline and abandonment of Angkor Wat, Cambodia's magnificent temple complex, has long puzzled researchers. Recent studies have shed light on this mystery, revealing a complex interaction of factors that led to its downfall. Climate change played an important role in the abandonment of Angkor Wat. Tree rings and sediment cores suggest that the region suffered severe droughts interspersed with intense monsoons during the 14th and 15th centuries. These extreme weather patterns likely disrupted the intricate water management system, which was crucial for agriculture and daily life in the city. Archaeological findings indicate that climate change coincided with significant social and political unrest. As resources became scarce, conflicts arose both within the Gemmer Empire and with neighboring powers. The empire's infrastructure and economy were stretched thin to support the populous city and its grand monuments. Researchers have also uncovered evidence of a shift in trade routes and economic centers during this period. As maritime trade gained importance, the inland city of Angkor lost its strategic advantage to coastal areas. This economic decline, combined with environmental and political factors, eventually led to the gradual abandonment of Angkor Wat and the surrounding city, as people moved to more favorable locations. Archaeological and geological evidence provides compelling evidence of the role of climate change in the fall of several ancient civilizations. The collapse of the Akkadian Empire in Mesopotamia around 2150 BC coincided with a severe drought that lasted 300 years. This prolonged drought, evidenced by dust deposits and marine cores from the Gulf of Oman, probably caused widespread crop failure and social upheaval. Similarly, the disappearance of the classical Maya civilization in Central America between 800 and the millennium AD coincides with multiple intense droughts. These dry periods are recorded in lake and cave sediment cores in the region. The droughts would have severely affected the sophisticated but vulnerable water management systems of the Maya, potentially triggering conflicts over scarce resources. In Egypt, the period of the Old Kingdom ended around the year BC, coinciding with a series of low Nile floods. These low water levels documented in sediment records would have drastically reduced agricultural productivity in a civilization heavily dependent on the river's annual floods. The resulting food shortages may have contributed to the political instability and social unrest that marked the end of this era. The Indus Valley Civilization in South Asia also shows signs of decline around 1900 AD, in correlation with a weakening of the summer monsoon. This climate change recorded in marine sediments in the Arabian Sea would have reduced the availability of water for this hydraulic civilization, which may have led to its gradual abandonment. Archaeologists use a variety of techniques to uncover evidence of warfare and its impact on ancient societies. They carefully examine skeletal remains for signs of violent trauma, such as sword cuts, arrow wounds, or blunt force injuries. These physical signs can reveal the prevalence and nature of conflict in a population. Excavations of ancient settlements often yield valuable clues about warfare. Archaeologists look for defensive structures such as walls, moats, and watchtowers that indicate a need for protection against attack. They also search for weapons, armor, and other military equipment that can provide information about the scale and sophistication of warfare in a particular society. The sudden abandonment of settlements accompanied by evidence of destruction, such as burned layers or collapsed buildings, may suggest a violent conquest. Archaeologists analyze these patterns at multiple sites to gain a broader picture of regional conflict and its consequences. They also study changes in settlement patterns, such as the shift from unprotected lowlands to more defensible hilltops, which may indicate an increase in wars. Archaeologists also turn to ancient texts, artwork, and oral traditions to supplement physical evidence. These sources can contextualize archaeological finds and offer insight into the cultural and political factors that may have contributed to war and societal collapse. By combining these various lines of evidence, archaeologists can reconstruct a comprehensive understanding of how war may have played a role in the decline or disappearance of ancient societies. The decline of the Minoan civilization remains shrouded in mystery and has captivated archaeologists and historians for generations. This advanced Bronze Age society that flourished on the island of Crete between 2700 and 1450 BC disappeared almost overnight, leaving behind intricate palaces and sophisticated artifacts, but few clues as to the cause of its downfall. One of the leading theories points to the catastrophic eruption of Thera, a volcano on the nearby island of Santorini. This huge explosion, which occurred around 1600 BC, unleashed devastating tsunamis and ash clouds that could have severely disrupted Minoan life. However, evidence suggests that the civilization persisted for some time after this event, raising questions about its true impact. Another hypothesis refers to the invasion of the Mycenaeans from mainland Greece. Some scholars argue that these warriors could have conquered Crete by assimilating or displacing the Minoan population. However, the lack of clear signs of war or destruction at many Minoan sites casts doubt on this explanation. Climate change and environmental factors also enter into the debate. Some researchers propose that a combination of earthquakes, droughts, and poor harvests could have gradually weakened Minoan society, making it vulnerable to external pressures or internal collapse. It is likely that the truth lies in a complex interaction of these factors, and that the Minoan decline serves as a reminder that even advanced civilizations can fall victim to natural disasters, social upheaval, or environmental change. That's it.